I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Cool but pleasant out there this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-60s with mostly sunny skies. It's a little breezy, so we do have high fire danger again today. It's a chilly night. We drop down to 37 around the Triangle, and just north of Raleigh, there's a frost advisory in effect for it tonight. For tomorrow, we're back into the mid-60s under mostly sunny skies. A big warm-up for Saturday with a high near 80.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 238 points to 42,348. Market update brought to you by Enbridge Gas, formerly Dominion Energy North Carolina Gas. Dominion Energy North Carolina Gas customers are now proudly served by Enbridge Gas. Looking forward to a bright future together. To learn more, visit enbridgegas.com.
Cadeau spins by his defender off the glass with the left hand. Are you kidding me? Washington alone for the rebound and the two-handed dunk into the hands of Jalen Washington. Cadeau, nice touch pass to R.J. Davis in transition for the layup. Tar Heels end up with the basketball. Cadeau gets to the rim and gives Carolina the lead. Powell with the offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Cadeau, to the cup. Give him two more with the left hand. Oh, Washington somehow slapped the ball underhanded, popped it up in the air, and it went in.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly on a hump day. Dennis Cox producing the show, back with us. And there's not always sadness in goodbyes. The transfer portal is giving and taking away all over the country right now. And goodness gracious, there is some vitriol out there. There is some hate, some anger flowing in every different direction. And for some reason, there's conference players of the year in the portal. There's starters, there's bench players, there's former big-time recruits, there's former no-stars that turn themselves into something. There's coaches going all over the country. In one instance, did you see what happened with St. Francis?
Yeah, they're going to Division III.
St. Francis was in the NCAA Division I men's basketball tournament. The whole program hit the portal. They're going down to Division III. The portal is give a thing and take a thing away all over the place. And for some reason, Elliott Cadeau hitting the portal from UNC is just right, I guess, in the fulcrum, right in the tipping point where everybody's gotten really mad about it. There's a contingent of Tar Heel faithful that love Cadeau and think him leaving is going to rob them of something great. Then there are those that apparently have been wishing ill upon this guy like from the moment he stepped on campus and are celebrating in a way that's a little grotesque about him hitting the portal. Saw one person on social media celebrating that Elliott Cadeau's mom blocked him on Twitter. If you're celebrating that, you got to take a long look in the mirror and figure out what you got going on. But here's what I say when I say, like, not every ending, not every goodbye has to be sad. It could be good for both. It could be the people that are upset because Elliott Cadeau is a great player and he's leaving. You might be right. He might be a great player. He might have to go somewhere else to realize his top potential. And for those of you that are so happy he's leaving, UNC might have to part with him in order for them to reach their potential. It truly can be a win-win. It's obviously this guy is fallen out of favor for reasons, but back when Louis C.K. was at the peak of his stand-up kind of height, his popularity, he did a bit about divorce because I think he had gotten divorced maybe. And the joke was he's telling his friends like, oh, we got divorced, and everybody went, oh, that's sad. And his bit was, I'm not doing the joke, but I'm just the premise of the bit was, no. No, if a happy marriage ended in divorce, that would be sad. He's no happy marriage ends in divorce. It's a bad marriage or an unhappy marriage that ends in divorce. Again, Louis C.K.'s words, not mine. But you can see the logic there, right? If Elliott Cadeau was really happy at UNC and UNC was really happy to have Elliott Cadeau, they would not be parting ways. It's not easy to have a former big-time recruit badge on your jersey, right? 5-star, top 20 recruit, to have that attached to your name and then play for a blue blood that's underperforming because people are looking for blame. Fans aim at the names they know. You should have been good enough to prevent this. You were supposed to be the one to carry the weight. You were supposed to be the one that took the torch from so-and-so, an old player who wasn't perfect, but nostalgia says they were. It's not always fair. And that's one of the best parts of the portal. The portal brings a lot of negative, right? Portal brings a lot, like, Cinderellas won't be as often. Loyalty, players learning to overcome adversity, right? I hear all the negatives. One of the good things is once you realize it's not a good fit, you don't have to eat it for the rest of your eligibility. Elliott Cadeau had a bunch of options, right? Could have gone to a bunch of different places. Jalen Washington, who's also in the portal from UNC, high 4-star, had a bunch of options. Could have went a bunch of different places. Well, maybe they didn't make the best decision when it comes to fit, system, coaching, whatever, when they were 17, 18 years old. Pre-transfer portal, you don't make the right decision. It's like, oh, darn. Well, good luck. Stick it out. Now everybody can get a reset. I went back and looked up some options, right? Because the biggest complaint, players aren't loyal anymore. Well, you can take the flip side of that as well and say, you get another swing if you're the team faster than you used to be able to. All my UNC fans out there, do you remember Joel James? Anybody remember Joel James?
I'm not a UNC fan, but I'm not going to lie. The name does not ring a bell.
He was a top 50 recruit in the country that went to UNC, played for the Tar Heels.
Okay.
Played 4 years between 2012 and 2016. Never averaged more than 10 minutes and never averaged more than 2 points per game. In modern times, he probably would have been playing big minutes somewhere else by his junior year, whether it's mid-major, another major program that had space at his position, whatever it is, he would have been able to go somewhere and contribute, and UNC could have been using that roster spot on somebody that perhaps could have contributed more, or a younger player that they could have developed into somebody, or however they saw fit. Elliott Cadeau, in my opinion, is a very good basketball player. I don't think I've said this a few times. I did the deep dive. I went back and watched high school film. I was trying to figure out like what Cadeau wasn't adding up. You weren't getting the best version of him at UNC. He's a better offensive player than he was showing. He is a better creator for himself, not just a setup guy, and you weren't seeing that with the Tar Heels. But also, he wasn't getting the best of UNC. We've seen players develop at UNC. We've seen them make gigantic strides. We've seen them be on the ball as a freshman and try off the ball as a sophomore, and he wasn't getting those opportunities. The fit just wasn't working out. So now, instead of, all right, we got a guy we like, he works hard, but we're going to have to slowly bring his minutes down because, this other guy is going to be more a fit with our style, he can go chase whatever he wants to. I don't care if he's money motivated, he's looking for NIL. I don't care if he's shots motivated, he's looking for usage. Maybe he just wants to move closer to home. Who knows? Like, he can go find whatever he wants in the portal, and UNC can take another swing. Sometimes that's just best for everybody. It's to use another analogy, I'm sure this has happened to many of you. You ever have your buddy and a friend, they're dating and you like them both, but at a certain point, every time they're not around, your friend group's like, man, they need to split. They're both awesome people, love them to death, right? I'm gonna hang out with both. I'm not, but goodness gracious, they're not meant to be. Sometimes that's what it is. The portal, I think I saw the latest number. It ended up being the portal opened up on Monday, college basketball transfer portal. It was over 900 names entered in the first day. It's got to be well over 1,000 by now. There's going to be every different kind of breakup in that portal, right? Jalen Washington going in the portal is different than Elliott Cadeau. Jalen Washington had his minutes severely downgraded in exchange for Van Allen Lubin and Jalen Withers playing a lot more in the most exciting games. That could be the team's kind of telling him with actions like, hey, you might want to go look somewhere else. Elliott Cadeau, maybe it's a, we've exhausted all of our options. Don't get mad. Get opportunistic might be the way. Player leaving, what are you going to do? The better question is, what are you going to do with that roster spot? What are you going to do with that roster spot? And do your best to avoid personal jabs. Although Duke fans, if you want to say wait 2 years till he's playing against Duke in the Sweet 16, then you'll root for him. There's that joke also happening. But Caleb Love. That's a very specific joke for some of you out there. There it is. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The portal will continue spinning. We'll let you know if we hear any big news about either entering or exiting the portal throughout the show. It does seem like every hour or two some new name pops up, so we'll keep you updated. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Last night, Canes played Nashville, looking to win, 10 of 11. Never really got going. Ended up losing that one. Frustrating night. We'll break it down next.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Proctor, the threes. Proctor fired up.
From the first four to the national championship.
A lob to Cooper to punch it down.
All the hoops action will be heard here.
It's been the Tyrese Proctor Show.
The road to San Antonio is driven by Wakemed, Roofworks, Metro Elevator, and Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Joint pain in your knees, shoulders, or lower back. It can stop you in your tracks. At DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, we offer a revolutionary course of treatment that can eliminate your joint pain and have you back to your old self in no time. Our regenerative therapies actually help repair damaged tissue to eliminate the pain without risky invasive surgery. If you suffer with joint pain and have been told your only options are medications, steroid injections, or surgery, DaVita Med Spa and Wellness offers non-surgical solutions using your body's own cells with minimal downtime and long-lasting results. Experience personalized, compassionate medical care at its best. Call our office now and see how you can get real, long-lasting relief from joint pain through regenerative medicine and the medical experts at DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, spelled D-V-I-D-A. Call 984-333-1313. That's 984-333-1313. 984-333-1313.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And are you ready for relatable topics? That's right. My bracket stinks. So does yours. So new customers at FanDuel can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins, $200 extra bucks to bet on anything from clutch shots to last-second heartbreaks, even who's cutting down the nets. Hey, you can get in whenever you like. If you have been waiting to join, no better time. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. That's FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Look, the team you didn't think is going to win probably will. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's time to get that brand new Buick you've been wanting. It's the Buick Savings Event at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford. Up to $3,000 in discounts are available on all remaining Buicks. Plus, a GM purchase allowance and 0.9% financing is available for 36 months. All topped off with deferred monthly payments for 90 days. See dealer for full details. Buick, exceptional by design. Hurry to Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford or online at wilkinsoncars.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Edge. Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
The Canes reload as Jarvis sets it in, and what a goal! Taylor Hall continues it. He scored the last 4 in a row for Carolina, and on the power play, the Canes within 1.
That's what it sounded like last night. One of the most memorable positive highlights of the night for the Carolina Hurricanes on a night that, in the end, ended up going Nashville's way. 3-1 Nashville victory against the Canes. They've now dropped 2 of their last 3. The Canes have. They've also won 8 of their last 11, if I'm doing that math right. 9 of their last 11 might be the better way to say that. So it's depending on how far back into history you want to look is how good the Canes are doing. Either, they're struggling, lost 2 of their last 3, or they're crushing it. They've won 9 of their last 11. It's up to you. But before I give you my take and reactions and actually some input from some of you on social media last night, let's get the input from Adam Gold, our very own here at 99.9 The Fan, with something we call 2 Minutes of Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that left Raleigh with the Nashville Predators and way more than 2 opportunities to do something about it, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. First, Carolina gave up the first goal last night, and it was a bad one. Not only did Pyotr Kochetkov not have to extend himself to make a save on a shot that was about 2 feet wide of the net, which he did, but when the puck was behind him, he couldn't find it. He covered up ice. He didn't cover up the puck, and our old friend Michael Bunting just slid it into the goal. It was a power play goal, really at the end of a great penalty kill, so Carolina's kind of deflated from giving up the first goal. But honestly, the Hurricanes dominated the first 2 periods. They should have scored 6 times, but they didn't, even early in the 3rd period. They had a great opportunity, and if you don't believe me, check this out.
Here comes Jarvis, back in for it, Saros with the save. Down the boards, Aho out in front for Blake. He redirects it just wide. That shot out in front, deflected as Aho got it there. Now a chance for Jarvis as Aho had the tip. Now it's Burns. He's shot high off the glass. Now Jost, he's going to make a move. He's got Robinson with him. Jost holds, shoots off the crossbar as Aho gets it out for Blake. Has it roll on him, still loose, and we'll get a whistle.
Robinson, Roslovic, Jost, Jarvis, Aho, Burns. It was crazy how many chances Carolina had last night. Couldn't beat UC Saros other than the one Taylor Hall bolt of lightning on the power play. And it's just one of those days where you definitely deserved more. You didn't get it because, hockey, puck is flat, doesn't bounce your way all the time. Now, do the same thing on Friday against Montreal. Bet you win. Then do that again against the Islanders on Sunday. I bet you win. And then do that against the Capitals on Wednesday. I bet you win. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound mind and body.
That's 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold, giving you the nuts and bolts, the details of last night's Canes loss to Nashville. It was a frustrating game for me, and I think for many of you. It was a frustrating game because for most of the contest, it felt like one great play could change it. One goal. And the whole game's different. They might have won 4-1 if they just put a well-timed 1 goal out there. But instead, it felt like it alternated between creating chances and not being able to convert those chances. And at times, again, special teams flubbing away possessions ahead of anybody making any kind of aggressive move to try to score. Now, I will, long season, hopefully just an off night. But this is starting to be something. I'm not one to chalk it up to just luck all the time, right? There has to be a break-even point. And I think this is where myself and probably people that have covered hockey longer, like the diehards longer than me, I might disagree with them. The Canes outshot Nashville last night. What was it, 35-16? At one point in time, they had like 3 times as many shots, but they were losing, like whatever it ended up being. if that happens every once in a while, or if you are shooting a high percentage on the season and there's a one-off where you got a bunch of good looks and you didn't finish them, all right. Right, I can understand the nature of a hockey loss where you're like, we played better than them, but for whatever reason we didn't get the goals. I'm fine with that, but there has to be a point where if it happens often enough with the same guys, it's like finishers finish, I guess is the way to look at it. If you keep creating good looks, you keep creating shot opportunities, and they very rarely become goals. I'm not ready to just sit here and go, well, you outshot them again. Like it's you must be playing well. It's there has to be a break-even line. There has to be where all right, those shots aren't working, or whoever's getting the high leverage chances aren't the ones finishing. And there was a bit of that last night. I'm not there with the team as a whole, but like the team needs guys that have the knack for finding the back of the net. And if the players in the system are all creating high-leverage chances, you need to figure out who needs to be on the receiving end of those high-leverage chances that will turn chances into goals. A game like last night, yeah, you more than doubled them up in shots on goal. Great. Need that knack for finishing. Taylor Hall has had that recently. I mean, you heard the highlight coming out of break. I said this on Twitter last night, and it's 100% true for me. Every once in a while, Hall makes a play that literally, like, I want to say it out loud. Go like, all right, that guy was an MVP, wasn't he? There's that makes sense. That was one of those goals where he just stayed calm, right, cross face, made it look easy. The whole play was just the chef's kiss, and it was good. And then they went right back to good look wide. Good look. That one right into the goalie's chest. Good look. And I'm going like, these good looks need to be goals at some point in time. It was a very frustrating game for that reason. And yes, like I'm acknowledging this very much, as much in the eyes of the beholder as because somebody on Twitter, I tweeted that out. Somebody on Twitter said, or you could have just stopped 2 more goals. And I was like, that is very true, right?
Yeah, it comes both ways.
But the reason why I'm so much more frustrated with the attack is because you only get one shot to stop a goal. You get like a billion chances to score a goal. So the buildup made it more frustrating for me. But yes, I mean, if you want to allow 0 goals, and Pyotr Kochetkov was not his best, hasn't been his best in a couple of games now. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm Rod Brindamore, I'm not only blaming the forwards, right? I'm the whole team needs to play better than last night. But I'm starting to get to the point where I'm going, are they just having bad puck luck? Or are the ones that are getting the opportunities to score goals a little off? That's where I'm at. Because they have that long stretch, right? You look at the win-losses recently. They had the 8-game winning streak. They never allowed more than 2 goals in that winning streak. Your goal scorers don't have to be the most efficient guys in the world if you're giving up 0 or 1 goal most games, right? You just find a couple breaks here and you're good. I'm going to ask a question here, and I know it's out there. You know the what's the saying? Every joke starts with a grain of truth or something like that. I don't know the exact. A kernel of truth might be the word. A
little truth in comedy.
So I've had this ongoing conversation with many of you on X.com on Twitter, and Dennis, we've done a bit of it on air about how the lines will shake up if and or when Carrier and Svetch come back, mm-hmm. And. First of all, thank you for everybody participating. I have a good time going back and forth. Overwhelming majority are like, Roslovic, Robinson, Jankowski, or some are saying Carrier, right? Are the ones that are Stankoven even less often being mentioned as the one that gets bounced and becomes the healthy scratch when everybody's healthy. I've also received a handful of jokes. The jokes are something along the lines of, well, I would start with the ones that aren't scoring. How about Aho? And I'm like, all right, badoom, right? Good zing, got your joke in there. And I actually told one of them, like, hey, you're the first to make that joke, congrats. And then there was like 4 more pretty quickly. And I was like, all right. So there's a bit, right? I acknowledge it's a joke, right? Badoom, said it, did the zing, all right, haha, way to go, Rodney Dangerfield over there. But every joke has a kernel of truth. There's starting to be a little bit of frustration with Aho. And So I started doing a deep dive. Obviously, like right now, this is very recency bias. He's on his tied for the longest point drought of the season, hasn't registered a point in 3 games, and he's your dude, so you want to see more than that. He's also at like 0.38 goals per game. Last 3 years, he hasn't been lower than 0.46, so it's a little bit of a dip. Still obviously setting guys up, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm not singling out Aho for like I don't think he's I want to be clear. I don't think he's a big problem. I'm a big Aho fan. I think he's a superstar. I think he's one of the most underrated players in the league. I think right now what he is a example of how, to put it simply, need to produce more goals. to put it simply, if you're getting a bunch of high chances, high leverage chances, whatever you want to call them, good looks, I do think there's very few games where the defense gives up a bunch of goals, the blue line and the goalies give up a bunch of goals, and the offense bails them out. But there's a decent amount of games where the offense scores a few and the defense bails them out. So I'm just looking for that to balance out here, and to go back to the conversation, I think that's why Roslovic will be in the lineup when everybody's healthy, because he's at different times this year. I know it hasn't been as loud as it was at the beginning of the year. He's shown some propensity for scoring goals.
I mean, I'm not gonna buy too much into the Sebastian Aho. Yes, he has not scored a goal in 3 straight games, but if you look at the 10 previous games before that, he had 6 goals. He had goals in 6 of 10 games leading up before this recent 3 games. So are you just going truly recency bias? Because that sounds like a lot of people are doing.
Or season long.
But
you want to go, the smallest sample size is 0 points in the last 3 games. The biggest sample size is on the season. He's down on specifically goals. He's down a decent amount on total points per game since last year. But if you go back the year before, it's pretty, like he's right on his career average for points per game. So it's again, I'm not blaming Aho. I think he's a really, really good player, and I think a lot of those high leverage chances he's kind of created, and then whether the receiving end finishes them or not is a different beast. I'm looking at him as the like just a microcosm of the team, which is, I know you can score more, so I would just like to see it. It would make me a little bit more comforting, because the other thing is, right, he scored, what'd you say, 6 out of the previous 10? Is that what you just said? Scored a goal in 6 of the previous 10, and they won, 8 or 9 of those?
Yeah, they won 8.
And then the last 3 he hasn't produced a point. They've lost 2 of the 3, and including 1 to Nashville, which isn't the best team in the world. So maybe it's as he goes, the team goes, in which case you're putting a ton of pressure on one guy. Like, then other guys have to start picking up goal scoring for when Aho does have a 3 or 4 game drought, which is not outlandish in hockey.
I mean, if you want to point the finger at other guys as well, like, okay, as creative and as good as Jackson Blake has been lately, the guy's gone, 20-plus games without a goal now? Jack Roslovic, this entire 2025 calendar year in 33 games, has 4 goals.
I think Jackson Blake is a great example. I'm glad you brought him up, of what I was talking about with, like, there has to be a point where you stop saying, because I've said it on the air a bunch of times, like, man, the guy he's buzzing. At some point, the levee's going to break. And he's getting good looks. And, this one was taken away by replay. And this one rang the post. And this one was a great look. And he's getting to the point now where I'm going, you know what? I can only say it's only a matter of time till the dam breaks. So long before I'm going like, all right, maybe those high leverage chances in your hands aren't being executed highly enough. I don't know if I'm there with Jackson Blake, but I do think if there is a line shuffle up when guys get healthy, at one point in time I was like, Jarvis, Aho, Blake. Love the way they're buzzing. That group sticks together. Svetch comes back and he's all the way healthy, and it's Jarvis, Aho, Svetch, and Blake goes and maybe mixes it up with KK and Hall or even further down. I think I'm more okay with it now because we're reaching that break-even point.
I mean, yeah, it's just, again, people are going to look at the recent. I know the last 3 games, Aho hasn't done anything. Look at the 14 games before that. He had 9 goals and 5 assists, 14 points. I'm like who actually has been consistently producing? He has. Like,
okay, that's an even better example then. When he does have 3 games, which you have to allow him, right?
Yeah.
It happens in hockey. When Aho has 3 games where he's not producing at an elite level, who's there to pick him up? Like, who's there to pick it up? It's, again, that's why I'm not blaming Aho, but there is something there that's worth noting, I guess is what I'm getting at. Because I know it's hockey, and I know on any given night, You should beat Nashville. Like you should beat Nashville. Oh, we didn't have good puck luck. Yeah, they're the third worst team in the Western Conference. You're vying for big and lofty goals. If you don't, we're gonna do an autopsy and we're gonna try to figure out why.
It's my thing is, like, folks, it's not football. It's 82 of these things.
True, very true.
Settle down.
Well, and this is actually one of the things I struggle with hockey, and I know we're up against this. We got to get moving. I struggle with what's the like in football, if a month, right? 4 games, 3 or 4 games. If something's going, you're like, boom, that's something we're seriously, like, 1 game you're not worried about. 2 months, it's too late to worry about. 1 month is boom, that's it. I struggle with that in hockey sometimes because they're always talking last 10, right? What's your record in your last 10? 10 games to me, it's almost like if there's something glaring that's gone on for 10 games and you haven't tried to address it already, it's too late. But 3 is too short. Is it 5? Is it 7? Like it's tough for me to get there. So after 3, you bring it up. Right now we know what we're tracking. Now there's narrative. Now there's storyline. 2 days from now, 3 days from now, 4 days, games, not days. We can revisit it and go, all right, was that real? Or were we Chicken Little running around saying the sky is falling? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have the Dean's List and Will Wade intro presser audio from yesterday that we have not played yet, some stuff you want to hear. But first, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. You're, believe it or not, running out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, you're running out of time. Have you been outside lately? It's absolutely gorgeous. Imagine cruising around on your very own custom-built motorcycle that you can win. It's really simple, folks. Go to caniacsbike.com. Again, go to caniacsbike.com to enter for your chance to win. And I say you're running out of time. Deadline to enter is April 6th, folks. That's basically a week and a half away. April 6th is your deadline to enter. Go to caniacsbike.com. It is a custom-built motorcycle because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, your Carolina Hurricanes, they've all teamed up once again to give a lucky fan a motorcycle. Like I mentioned, custom-built, folks. One of one. This is the first year they've actually done a custom-built motorcycle. 4th year overall they've been doing this, but first time ever custom-built, custom-painted with Cane's colors and logos, everything on it. Absolutely gorgeous bike. Go to caniacsbike.com. You'll see pictures of the bike. That's where you enter for your chance to win. Go to caniacsbike.com. Deadline's April 6th. Don't wait any longer, folks. Tell a friend. Go to caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As promised just a couple seconds ago, we have audio that we have not played yet from Will Wade's introduction as the head coach of NC State. That's coming up.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
Spring is here, and there's no better time to let a new career blossom. The Wake County Public School System is hiring special education instructional assistants and bus drivers, and we need dedicated individuals to help transport kids and provide instruction to motivated students. You'll love our competitive salaries and comprehensive benefits, including retirement, and will enjoy a welcoming, positive culture that will motivate you every day. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
At WakeMed MyCare 365, we provide walk-in primary care every day of the year at the same place where we provide walk-in urgent care. So walk in or make an appointment for a checkup, physical, chronic condition, referral, you name it. Learn more about MyCare 365 at wakemed.org. On foot or by appointment, you'll walk in for the highest quality primary care and waltz out good to go.
You know that feeling? That confident, swaggerific feeling that says, look at me, world, I know stuff. Own that feeling with PlaySmart, a fun new go-to resource from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With PlaySmart, get to know the odds, learn tips, set limits and budgets, and make the most of your play. Awesome feeling, right? Right. Play smart, the way smart players play. Visit ncplaysmart.com. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I just couldn't be more excited. Our time is right now. Our time is right now. This is the first time in a while, I think, the fans, the administration, and the program, we're all on one accord. And everybody's on the same accord. Everybody's singing from the same sheet of music. And when that happens at NC State, it's going to be a reckoning for the ACC, and it's going to be a reckoning for college basketball. And it's coming.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was the voice of Will Wade, the new head men's basketball coach of NC State. Talked a big game yesterday at his intro presser. He didn't do the coach thing, which we talk about, where if you actually read back what he wrote, there's just little trap doors. Instead of we will be in the NCAA tournament, you say we're a program that will always strive for the highest of goals, and the NCAA tournament is certainly amongst them. And it's did he just say they're going to play in the NCAA tournament, or did he leave himself a little trap door? Right? I think if you look at our roster right now, it is one that I think we should be able to expect something like a competition at the top of the ACC. It's ooh, that right now gave him the out, didn't it? Because then if he doesn't do it next year, he'll go, well, yeah, our roster changed at that moment, right? He didn't do any of that. He said, we will be at the top of the ACC. He said top part of the ACC, and we will be in the NCAA tournament next year. Now it's portal time. It's roster management time. It's NIL fundraising time. It's coaching time to see if you can back it up. And to see if you can back it up, if you're doing your job, you'll have a whole bunch of players on the Dean's List at about this time next year. So let's go ahead and find out who's making the Dean's List right now. Class is in session. So the transfer portal is open. My first entry is a player by the name of Donovan Dent, shooting guard from New Mexico. Now, I think it's nearly impossible for coaches and colleges to be able to evaluate everybody in the portal, over 1,000 names already. So I'm not going to pretend to know them all. But what I can do is look at the reactions. Donovan Dent, apparently, I think the guy has never missed a basketball shot in his entire life. I think he averaged 105 points in high school and 112 in college, by the looks of how everybody wants him to join their team out of the transfer portal. He went to New Mexico, where he was the Mountain West Player of the Year, averaged a little over 20 points per game and almost 7 assists per game. Tar Heels Illustrated says UNC has been in contact. Duke fans have tracked his social media to find out that Chris Carrawell, Duke assistant, has reportedly followed Donovan Dent on Instagram.
What?
There it is. It is good to be wanted, so I want to give a shout-out to Dent. Apparently, wherever he goes, they're getting the best player out of the portal, according to people that apparently do that tracking. Just shows there's something for everybody out there. Also on the Dean's list, Matt Painter and Purdue. Matt Painter, they're in the Sweet 16, men's basketball at Purdue. Here's why Matt Painter, the head coach of Purdue, and the Boilermakers are in the Dean's list. They give the old-timers someone to root for. Here's what I mean by that. I've oftentimes said I'm the lead activist for players' rights. It's a corny thing that I call myself because I like, in arguments in professional sports between billionaires and millionaires, I like to take up for the millionaires. In arguments between high-paid college coaches and now also highly paid players, I like to take up for the players. So I am a big fan of free will. That's why I like the transfer portal. It's why I like NIL. I'm a big fan of players being able to make decisions for themselves because they're adults, and in every other walk of life, we let them, adults, make decisions for themselves. But what I do acknowledge is fans are allowed to decide what they like and don't like. If a player does something under their own free will that you don't agree with, don't be their fan. Don't root for them. Same thing in the NBA. Remember, people get real mad about LeBron for starting these super teams, right? He started the super team era. I'm like, great. Let players decide if they want to go play on a super team, and then you know which players you're rooting against. And if you want to root for Giannis Antetokounmpo or Jokic because they got somewhere, they were drafted there, they built a winner, they stayed there, they won a championship. There you go. You're a Giannis fan. Matt Painter and Purdue, for everybody out there that hates disloyalty in college sports, if you hate that Duke starting point guard went to Tulane first, if you hate that Arkansas has a team made up almost exclusively of transfers, if you hate that, you're a Purdue fan. Congratulations. All 8 players that lead them in minutes per game started their career at Purdue. They're the only team in the Sweet 16 that can say that. Their 8 leaders in minutes per game all started their career at Purdue. They're still playing for Purdue now, which is even more impressive when you think of Mason Gillis is playing for Duke, and he was the 6th man of the year in the Big Ten at Purdue last year. So they replaced a guy that left in the portal without going into the portal. They just said, all right, next up. So I just like that. That's been my rebuttal this whole time. When people get real mad about the transfer portal, I just go, hey, you're a Purdue fan. You didn't even know it. Congrats. You and Matt Painter. Go Boilermakers. Dennis, do you have someone you want to add to the Dean's list?
I actually don't, because
right.
I think yesterday you guys did all the women's basketball
Yep.
teams. And okay, so yeah, that would have been mine yesterday.
Kind of extended it.
That's fair.
I do want to give a shout out to this person, and I should have done it yesterday, but I forgot. Bryce Baker, freshman quarterback at UNC.
Okay, yeah.
He threw at their pro day, which back in the day was like the most illegal thing in the world. You could You could not, if you were a player that was still trying to protect your college eligibility and you even wanted to attend your friend's pro day, like the seniors on the team, you had to like sit in the stands, and if there was any conversation or waving, like your compliance person would come running through like, no. Now Bryce Baker's out there throwing passes to guys that are trying to be in the NFL, and the evaluators are going, I'm sure they're watching the players trying to make it in this year's class, but they're also evaluating the quarterback. He hasn't even played a single down in college yet. Hasn't even been to a single training camp practice yet. He's been to spring ball. That's it. He's already impressing or trying to impress NFL players. That's just cool. And I'm sure that's happening around the country. We just know about Bryce Baker because it's here in our backyard.
That's got to be a cool experience for him.
Yeah.
Like you said, just being able to throw to guys that are going to be drafted. That's got to be like where it's Bryson Nesbitt, throwing passes if it's, Amari Hampton out of the backfield, whatever it might be. That's just more reps for the young guy.
And
it's good for him.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I heard he did well. I heard he slung it around a bit, which is, hey, man, that draft 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, Remember my face, says scouts.
Yeah, it's amazing that the NCAA rules, like you mentioned, about you could basically, if you wanted to go watch your teammate to have their pro day, you basically had to buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, I play for this team. Like I can't just stand over there. It's the NCAA was so dumb.
What was it? My sophomore year. Between my sophomore and junior year, we had a pro day at Delaware. We had 4 quarterbacks on the roster that were all pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think any of us could have done a pro day and made the receiver look good. You know what I mean? But do you know who had to throw at the pro day?
You.
The running backs coach. No, I couldn't because I was eligible. Like I was trying to protect my eligibility. There was supposed to be a quarterback from another college coming to our pro day because he wanted to work out. It was like a Division II school or whatever, and he was going to be the one throwing to our receivers. They had gotten together and worked out. They had done it. He got sick day of. So we had 4 college quarterbacks watching a pro day where our running backs coach had to throw to our receivers because we couldn't throw just to help them out I guess it would have ruined our eligibility. It was the weirdest thing ever. So our receivers, our defensive backs, they were not happy about it. And now if it would have been today.
Nor should they.
Then if it was today, they would have just said like, hey, Tim, come on down here, get warm. And we would have been 100% better than no offense to our running backs coach. He was a running backs coach for a reason. He wasn't a quarterbacks coach. You know what I mean? And our quarterbacks coach was older, so he couldn't do it. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. One last Dean's List name.
Okay.
Will Wade.
Will Wade.
Crushed the intro presser. And actually with that, we'll dismiss class. Will Wade's presser yesterday, I talked about it. He did not leave wiggle room, and I love that. He did not leave, 3 years from now, we hope to. It was, we're going to win. We're going to win quickly. And we played a lot of the audio from his main opening statement and his initial interaction with the media yesterday. But Dennis was at the presser. So in the little media breakout in the hallway where you can get a little bit more in-depth, it's less like, speaking at the podium speechy. You can kind of get into it more. He gathered more audio. So, Dennis, why don't you go ahead and set up the clips here that you gathered, and we'll, along with all of the listeners, react.
So Will Wade he was asked about roster construction. Okay, how are you going to build this thing? Yeah, you want to compete right now. How is that going to look? How are you going to dive into that? And Will Wade basically said it's going to be pretty active in terms of transfers over the first couple seasons.
We're going to have to be a little portal heavy to start, but in a perfect world, you get 2 or 3 freshmen, 1 impact freshman, a couple developmental freshmen, get 3 or 4 out of the portal, and then you're able to retain over half your roster every year. I mean, that's the formula to building a good program and good team. But the first 2 years, that's not how this is going to be. I mean, we're going to have to go portal heavy this year, get some freshmen as well. See who wants to stay, and then we'll hopefully by year 3 we'll be able to only have to bring in 2 or 3 freshmen, 3 or 4 portal guys, and then we'll have guys that are staying and we're retaining those guys.
Well, the interesting part of the whole his ideal roster construction to me is 2 or 3 developmental freshmen, because you don't see that as often anymore. Guys who come in even with the expectation or the direct knowledge that, hey, you're probably not going to contribute right away. For the most part, if you come in, you don't contribute in that first year with some kind of role. A lot of times they're hitting the portal that off season. So if he can pull that off, and one of the things everybody seems to be praising about Will Wade is his direct honesty, refreshing, open. So maybe he will be the guy who recruits a high 3-star or a 4-star and says, sophomore year is where I see you, being a role, junior year starter, senior year star. Maybe he can actually pull that off, but you don't see many colleges across the country able to pull that off. The other thing is, we're going to see who wants to stay. Marcus Hill in the transfer portal, Bryce Hurd in the transfer portal, Mike James in the transfer portal, Dennis Parker in the transfer portal. Ben Middlebrook's not even sure if he has eligibility, but he's in the transfer portal. Ismail Doof in the transfer portal. There's a lot of transfer portal for NC State, so they will be extremely heavy on that. I don't doubt him on that early on.
Well, the next clip kind of ties into that. A lot of that is, okay, what about NIL, revenue sharing? How are you going to be able to get those players? Well, Will Wade said the number isn't what he expected, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Boo told me what we had in NIL and revenue share, and I get here, and we got more than they told me we had. So, it was under, I'm on the plane yesterday, and they're talking about it, and I'm going, well, that's not exactly what they said, in a good way. I think that, look, we're going to be competitive. Are we going to have the most? No, but that's not what we need. We got to be competitive, and then that's on me to spend it properly and to allocate the resources, and a general manager to allocate the resources to properly. And, that's what we're going to do.
How about that? The opposite of Will Wade is over-promising, and he's going to have to work like heck to go over-deliver, right? Or will be in the NCAA tournament. Boo Corrigan hit him with the under-promise, over-deliver. Hey, we got X amount of dollars for you next year. Is that enough? Sure, I can make it work. He shows up. Hey, we got X plus Y. Ha, ha, ha. I under-promised and over-delivered. That's good news right there. That's a good feeling. I almost wish, this is like the old school move. I almost wish Boo Corrigan kept a little bit, or maybe he has, right? Keep a little bit more budget that is available for when they have the big expenditure that they want to but can't afford, right? So what, you really think this is worth it? You think it's worth going over budget? Cool. I budgeted an extra $500,000 for you. Here you go. Just make them be surprised. What else do you have from Will Wade? Because we have a little bit of time here.
All right, so he wants to make sure, obviously, that NC State is not just a one and done. They want to make sure that they are winning and winning all the time. As this freezes up on me. Well, you know what? I might have to just – you know what? There's a technology. There's that. But basically what Will Wade did say yesterday, that he wants to make sure that NC State has sustained success year in and year out. He actually made reference to Tony Bennett in Virginia. He's like, yes, Tony Bennett in Virginia, they were constantly at or near the top of the ACC. One year, yes, they got knocked out, but they ended up winning a national championship, and he said that probably wasn't their best team that he had. But when you're a consistent winner, you're going to have more chances, favorable matchups in the NCAA tournament, favorable seeding, and that's where you're going to get that opportunity to go win a national title.
To combine all three clips, the two that we heard and the one that Dennis just summarized for us. Yayo. To combine the three, sustaining winning. And what I mean by that is every single year being a good program is very, very, very difficult in modern college basketball. Because you can, and we saw this a bit with Kevin Keats, you can build your program in the portal every single year. You can build your team in the portal every single year. And sometimes the pieces are going to mesh, it's going to click, and it's going to work. And sometimes you're going to be halfway through the season and realize, this didn't work the way I thought, and you're going to try your best to ride it out, and then that offseason have to do it all over again. If you do get what Will Wade was talking about earlier, the clip where it's, we want to get 3 or 4 freshmen, 1 impact, a couple developmental, 2 or 3 out of the portal, veterans. We want to have the developmental guys entering in. When you are truly adding guys kind of into – I think this is – all right, I don't even know if this is a good analogy to use. I think this is how sourdough works, where you just – like when you're making sourdough bread, you need like the little piece and you just keep adding to it. So technically it's never a completely new like bread. You're adding to the thing. Like if that's how you're doing it, it is the only way to be consistent, right? Is a couple veterans internal, couple veterans external, couple young guys with the idea that they'll be impact originally, couple young guys with the idea that they're slow burners, maybe a random, I don't know, international recruit. Like you got to mix everything in there if you're going to have sustained every year success. And to do that, you need money. You need darn near a lot of it, right? Because to get guys to stick around as they develop costs cash. To get the players that play really well to stick around and not go cash in on the portal takes money. Like there's all of that. So, it's good that he had more money than he thought. It's good that he has a plan. It's good that he has the goal of every year competing. That's pretty difficult. I mean, that's the highest level of difficulty in college basketball. Because we've seen teams have those one-off years where it's like, wow, they got a really good team this year. And then the next year, it's like, what the heck happened to them? And it's mostly because, they clicked on a few things. They tried to do it again the next year and didn't.
Final one here. He was asked, how do you balance the confidence that you have, but also making sure that you're not too cocky?
Confidence is the way I define that is being secure in yourself. What got me in trouble was, thinking that this had to happen this way, or if I didn't get this, it was going to be the end of the world. Confidence is yeah, I want this, but if it doesn't go this way, I'm not going to take a shortcut. There's another way to go get the same thing done. This isn't life or death. This isn't the end. And so I think that's the balance between cockiness and confidence. I'm still very confident, as you can probably tell, but we're not backing down from anybody. But we're not gonna blur any lines, and we're not gonna think that we're invincible and that everything's just gonna work out.
I'm workshopping a way to describe the confidence of Will Wade. You all can tell me if it's good or not, because I've been calling it quiet, combative confidence, and basically someone point blank was like, "That's just mumbo jumbo." What does that mean? Here's the way I can describe it. There's a video that went viral a couple months, weeks ago. We've all seen drunken stadium fights. Right? Section G got a little too much of the $24 beers in them, and now all of a sudden they're yelling at each other. There's one where there's a very drunk fan yelling at, I think it's a Bills game, but don't hold me to it. And there's a fitter-looking guy in a blue shirt and a hat, and he's looking at this drunk guy getting in his face, and he's kind of smirking. And the explanation, I don't know if it's true. I read it on online, so 100% true. That never happens. The explanation is the fit guy in the blue shirt he's either like a Ranger or he's a Navy SEAL or something, and you could just tell he was going like, all right, if you swing, this is not going to go well for you. And he didn't have to be the loudest. He didn't have to be the most aggressive, but the quiet confidence was there to be like, if this does turn physical, I'm not going to be the one that doesn't end up, with or that ends up embarrassed. And that's kind of how I look at Will Wade, right? He's like, yeah, we got some bully neighbors, but he's kind of sitting there with a smirk on his face, like, I'm pretty confident if this comes to a fight here, I'm not going to be the one embarrassed. Whether it's true or not, who knows? He believes in himself that way. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about confidence. And to me, that's the difference between confidence and arrogance, or confidence and cockiness. Right? Cocky is yelling, I will light you up. You what? Meanwhile, confidence is sitting there with a smirk on your face, like, if you do anything, this is going to go in my favor. That's what I think he's giving off. We'll see if it ends up being true. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, because in that case, Shire's probably also special forces, and right, it's like there's not a lot of the drunken bozos in those fights in college basketball. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, metaphorically. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of audio, Dan Morgan, GM for the Panthers. Brant Tillis, assistant GM for the Panthers, spoke to the media today. What did they say about free agency, the draft, and everything else this offseason? We'll play it for you next.
Move your sports day forward.
I love this time of year. Filling out the brackets, it's like going to the weirdest farmer's market ever. Yeah, I'll take some of those 15 seeds, couple of mid-majors, and what do you got on that top seed shelf there? No? Yeah, I'll take that second seed. All right, one bracket down, just 15 more to go.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Need CPAP supplies fast? I'm Brandon Giggling, president of Parkway Sleep Health Centers, and we are the Triangle's top sleep provider, offering quick access to the equipment you need for better sleep. Get the right supplies right when you need them. With over 20 years of experience, our expert team is here to help you sleep better, sooner.
Discover why so many trust Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. Visit parkwaysleep.com now and start your journey to a healthier night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep. Sound health.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring. The perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you could choose one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. With big bank reliability and small bank resolve, you get 160 years of financial strength and stability and an enduring commitment to personal service. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank. Visit firsthorizon.com/getitall.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code YEAR to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code YEAR for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Cool but pleasant out there this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-60s with mostly sunny skies. It's a little breezy, so we do have high fire danger again today. It's a chilly night. We drop down to 37 around the Triangle, and just north of Raleigh, there's a frost advisory in effect for it tonight. For tomorrow, we're back into the mid-60s under mostly sunny skies. A big warm-up for Saturday with a high near 80.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. The Dow Jones this afternoon down 132 points to 42,454.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. We have audio. Dan Morgan, GM of the Panthers. Brant Tillis, assistant GM of the Panthers. Less than a month now, I believe, until the NFL draft.
4 weeks from tomorrow.
Okay, a month, whatever it ends up being.
4 weeks from tomorrow.
So they're getting ready for their second.
Who's ready?
Second time leading the Panthers through the draft. And obviously coming out of mostly their free agent decisions. They're still, Stephon Diggs signed for $1 bajillion yesterday. So there's still some moves that need to take place.
3 years, $69 million. Nice deal.
There it is. So there's still a little bit of that going on, but for the most part, free agency, like the work is done. Draft just getting into the crunch time. So it's a really interesting time to hear from the GM and the assistant GM. They spoke just earlier today, so this is first time having the audio on air. We'll start with Dan Morgan, which is a clip about what free agency has done and allowed them to be going into the draft.
We're going to take the best players. So however that ends up on the board when it comes to pick 8, if pick 8's an offensive guy or a defensive guy, we're just going to draft the best player that we feel is going to help our team, help our organization moving forward. And, we're really not going to box ourselves in with, any position or any need. I think that's when you get yourself in trouble, is when you do those type of things.
I think that what he just said shows their goal of free agency. Right, free agency was very obvious I said it earlier, to not have any positions that you need to draft. I was dramatic with it, or die. Right, it's not like you need a tackle or you die, and the dramatic nature. Right, you don't actually die, but you fail. right? It's not, well, we need a corner or we fail. We need an edge rusher or we fail. They went and got enough pieces at darn near every position, maybe not safety, but safety, they're available in the market. Enough positions to do what they said and just take best player available. The hard part is this. There's a follow-up question that no GM will ever answer, right? We're going to take the best player available. The follow-up question that they'll never answer is, how do you judge who's the best player, right? Is it the same? Like if the off-ball middle linebacker is the best off-ball middle linebacker, is that the same as being a little bit less but a edge rusher? Is a quarterback being the same as a corner? What if the best player available is a quarterback? You have Bryce Young, right? Does that knock him down in your best player available rankings? What if Shedeur Sanders is there and you have him as the 6th best player in the draft? You're picking 8th, and you already have Bryce Young, right? It's best play BPA, best player available, sounds lovely. It's really, how do you judge that? That, like, I think everybody drafts best player available. It's how do you decide who the best player available is? That is the follow-up they'll never answer. Let's jump to a Brant Tillis. Let's maybe go back and forth on this one.
Okay.
Because the other big news of the offseason was they made J.C. Horn, at the time, the highest paid defensive back in the history of the NFL, a title that he wore for exactly 1 week before it was taken away. Derek Stingley, right? Ended up signing for more per year. Here's Brant Tillis on how the organization viewed J.C. Horn during that negotiation.
We got to a point internally where we said, okay, here's a player who worked his tail off to be healthy for most of the season, got a little unlucky towards the end, was able to play in the Pro Bowl, and how do we want to go about this? Like, this is a core player for us. Are we going to bet on JC or bet against him? And so we elected to bet on him, and we're extremely excited to have him here for the next 5 years.
Here's different organizations operate, I would say in this specific situation, there's kind of 2 ways to operate. One is you want to be one of the franchises that is seen as you reward your dudes. The other is you want to be a franchise that needs to get the 100% max value out of every dollar, like analytically the max value. Because, like, J.C. Horn drafted as a Panther. J.C. Horn developed, rehabbed through injuries as a Panther, struggled through the down years as a Panther. This past year played really, really well as a Panther, so they made him the highest paid defensive back in NFL history. Does anybody think J.C. Horn is the best defensive back in the NFL? I don't think so. But he's a Panther, so they made him that. Right? If you're looking analytically, you're looking at him and going, well, his defensive win share and his DVOA minus, well, I don't know all the, says that he should be the 11th highest paid corner, whatever it says. If you listen to that, you probably wouldn't have made this deal. But the Panthers, and Dan Morgan being a former player, I think this comes through, they see value in rewarding their guys because it becomes a place that people want to play. Like, it becomes, you see that value in future free agents where you get to, during negotiations, say, you saw what we did with J.C. Horn, right? If you show up and you go to work every day, we'll take care of you. You just have to trust us because we've done this. Those are the 2 ways to operate. Either you do not believe there's value in that, in which case you're nickel and diming J.C. Horn, and you're saying, all right, yeah, fine, go into this year playing on your contract now, and if you get hurt, that's going to cost you a bunch of money. You can play hardball, or you can say, yeah, we'll give you the little bit more now, right? We'll give you $100 million rather than $90, right? We'll give you the whatever guaranteed rather than $8 million less guaranteed. And we're going to hope to get that money back in reputation. Oftentimes you see smaller market teams operate more on that way than the bigger market, because the bigger market, they get it the other way. All right, Dennis, you've heard this audio. Which one's more interesting? We have one more from Tillis, one more from Morgan, and time for one more. Do we want to talk about the targets they went after in free agency with Dan Morgan, or do we want to talk about the players they added in free agency and what's being built with Canales on Brant Tillis' side?
Let's go with the Dan Morgan one.
All right, here's Dan Morgan on the targets they wanted in free agency.
I think we pretty much hit on all our targets. Obviously, the Milton Williams thing, that fell through. We're really excited about Turk and what he brings. But yeah, we're excited about those guys that we signed. I do think it's going to allow us to be flexible in the draft. But, like I said before, we were going to build our defensive front. I think we did that. We signed 3 guys there. So I think at each level, defensive line, linebacker, on the back end with Trevon, I think we addressed some needs that we have. We're far from done. There's a lot of work to do. And we're excited about the draft. We have 9 picks, and we're going to go attack it.
9 picks, and they're going to go attack it. First of all, 9's a lot. Sometimes it's hard to roster 9 rookies if you're trying to field a competitive team, especially if a lot of those picks are mid-rounds to late because you'd expect the immediate contributors to be drafted at the upper part of the draft. So it's there's still a lot of chess to be played, and they've got a lot of like rooks and bishops. They're not only pawns out there. They got a lot of pieces they can move around in a bunch of different ways. You can tell I play a lot of chess. Not at all. But my point is there's a lot
of knights. Let's go.
Yeah, a lot of knights to E4. There's a lot of moves that they still can make, right? So, what's their grade for the offseason? Incomplete. That's my grade for them yet. They still have to turn in their final paper and their final project. A lot of wiggle room here, but they're passing at the moment.
Let me ask you this real quick question.
Let's do it.
9 picks. They draft less because of maneuvering up around. They take less than 9. Do they draft right number 9 picks, or do they potentially draft more than 9 in this year's draft?
I think they walk away with less than 9 players.
Okay.
Some of that might be converted to future picks.
Sure.
But I think they walk away with less than 9 players drafted. And it's such a small sample size. But Dan Morgan in his first year, I do think showed signs of being I'm going to go get my guy GM. If I'm sitting here in the 4th and there's a guy I really like and it's the late 3rd, I'm not just going to put my hands in my pocket and go, I really hope he's here in the 4th. He's going to make a call, and he's just going to see. So I think with 9 picks, I think they'll end up moving up a few times to get their guy, whoever their guy is. We have a month to decide who we want to be their guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully a fast running back in the 4th. That's about where I'm at as far as mid-round goals. I want a fast running back in the 4th. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our ladder challenge, which I have a hilarious story to pass along to Dennis involving ladder challenge. But before we do any of that, Dennis has some info for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. We talk about, hey, who do you want? I want you to go to caniacsbike.com. I want to see you riding around your town, wherever you live, on a custom Caniacs motorcycle, because the Law Tigers, Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, Shiny Side Paint, and your Carolina Hurricanes, they're teaming up once again, folks, to give a lucky fan a Caniacs motorcycle. But this year, it's even more special. It's a custom-built motorcycle for Tobacco Road, Harley-Davidson, built right here in Raleigh, painted by Shiny Side Paint. Cane's colors, logos, you name it, it's all right on there. Go to caniacsbike.com, enter for your chance to win. Here's the thing. You have until April 6th. April 6th is your deadline. Folks, it's right around the corner. It's March 26th already. It's crazy to think that we're at the end of March. You have until April 6th. Go to caniacsbike.com. Don't wait. If you're telling a friend about it, you've heard me say it once before, I'm telling you once again, go to caniacsbike.com, enter for your chance to win. And also, if you are a motorcycle rider, make sure you're safe out there on the road. I don't know about you all, but I've been seeing a lot more motorcycles out there on the road. I've been riding mine a lot more because the weather's been turning out so great lately. Well, guess what? If you're a motorcycle rider and you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Insurance companies, they want to give you the least amount possible. Here's the thing about Law Tigers. They're riders, too. They're part of that community. They understand what your bike is worth. They understand what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis gets to hear my my ladder challenge story, as all of you do as well. Coming up after this, stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hey, I know Cooper Flagg didn't win all of the awards. He won the 2 major ones. He got Player of the Year. He got Rookie of the Year. Neither were unanimous, which blows my mind. But he should have won Defensive Player of the Year as well. And John Shire was the Coach of the Year. Yes, I know Duke has all these great players. They were 19-1. They were 28-3. Historical point differential. Come on.
The Adam Gold Show, weekday starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why? It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL TV's 11 o'clock news.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold, hard cash. You can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen. The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Tar Heels the other way. Trimble in the left corner offensively. Gets into the paint, kicks it in the corner to Withers. Extra pass to an open Ian Jackson. Heels need it, and they get it for 3.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming out of the break a cappella here on 99.9 on this Wednesday. By the way, follow us on YouTube, live stream, 99.9 The Fan, available there as well. Subscribe, tell your friends, pass along videos, all that stuff. We have a pretty cool community there, and we are looking to grow it every single day. One of the things, if you're part of our community and you follow the show that you're familiar with, is something we call the Ladder Challenge. Dennis, I'm going to be all the way up front with the Ladder Challenge today.
Okay.
So yesterday on the show,
all right,
you obviously weren't here. You were out, and we had Graham. And I said, you know what? I'm making a ladder challenge pick.
Okay.
I said, because of the ACC tournament, because, we've been in and out, we've been in different places. I felt out of rhythm. So I was like, I'm making a ladder challenge pick. And I actually said into the microphone, if it's wrong, I'm going to pretend like it didn't happen, and I'm just going to keep it rolling.
Okay.
That pick that I made, Canes plus 1.5 against the Predators.
Oh, no.
Which was minus 825.
Whoops.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't count. You didn't make a pick, and I said it from the beginning. So I get like a get out of jail free card on a really easy bet that I should have been able to win, and I didn't.
That's, you know what? I didn't make a pick yesterday. If I had submitted a pick, then that'd be a different conversation, but I did not. So therefore I'm okay with that.
And I think it shows that I was actually out of rhythm. Now, it did cost me the actual cash, which is the bummer. But in our competition, which is,
true.
I mean, truly, I'm just all about bragging rights. I'm trying to chase down and get the trophy back, and we are near the end of March. That's a really, really big time little save there. So with that being said.
So give yourself a little pat on the back there.
Just completely lucky. I'm going to say the last time I made a bet, it was Paolo Banchero a couple days ago on 30-plus points, rebounds, and assists versus the Lakers, whenever that game was. He had 30 points in that game alone. So easy hit, and I'm up to $36.80.
The last time I did something was a couple days ago. The New Jersey Devils plus 2.5 goals against Vancouver. They lost 4-3, but which is fine because I was up to $13 now. So that's currently where I sit. But you are in the lead, sir. You tee off.
All right. I am going with tonight. I'm looking at the NIT. men's basketball NIT.
We're there. Okay.
Well, here's what it is. It's a warm up for Thursday, right? Mm-hmm. We for those of us that do gamble, do so responsibly. We had an aggressive Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday college basketball, a game going on at all points in time. Then withdrawal Monday, Tuesday, right? It's gone. So now Wednesday, I think you dabble in the NIT just to get your warm up in. Tomorrow we're back to Sweet 16 NCAA tournament action. So with all that being said, I know very little of these teams.
Okay.
I'm taking Kent State.
All right.
Plus 16.5. They are I think a 5-point dog, and I'm able to tease it to plus 16.5 within our parameters over Loyola Chicago. Sister Jean's team, if those I remember from a handful of years ago. It's minus 810. Like I said, I know very little about these teams, but the winner of this goes to the Final Four of the NIT. So they got to be somewhat solid teams, and 16.5 is just a ton of points in a game that seniors will be playing all the way to the last whistle because they they don't want their career to end. And if you're an underclassman auditioning for the portal, going all out, there's going to be a lot of effort in this game. 16.5 is the amount of points I am getting, and I'm on the Kent State. I believe they are the Golden Flashes of some kind. I might be making that up.
I think it's the Golden Eagles, right?
Golden Eagles? Maybe that's it. For some reason, I thought there was a flash involved. If not, then I'm going to take the Golden Eagles over Loyola Chicago plus 16.5.
Flash the Golden Eagle is their mascot.
Oh. See, I know a little something about Kent State.
But they are the I guess they are the Golden Flashes.
Where's Antonio Gates at? Julian Edelman.
It's the Golden Flashes. So there you go. Kent State Golden Flashes. So plus 16.5.
Yes, that's it.
Mine's very simple. The Edmonton Oilers play the Dallas Stars in hockey tonight. Two very good teams. They should score. So give me over 3.5 goals combined between the two teams at minus 800. So my $13 will turn into $14.60.
I believe the last time I bet a over 3.5 tees down total in the NHL, you said 2-1 victory, book it.
Yeah, except for the Canes, actually.
Yeah, and it ended up being true. So I'm just going to test the universe here. It's Edmonton and Dallas. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Edmonton, 2-1 victory. Book it.
Okay.
See if it happens. That's our ladder challenge. Again, whichever one of us has the most money at the end of the month, they get to hold the trophy. They get the win. That's how it goes. But let's hit it and quit it. I almost forgot. Hit it and quit it. We line up the biggest stories in sports. Knock them out of the park. Move on to the next. I'll start. We referenced this earlier. The Patriots signed Stephon Diggs yesterday. 3 years, $69 million. There's what, 20 and change?
$26 million guaranteed. Nice deal.
First of all, let's give a round of applause to Stephon Diggs' agent. I didn't think there was that much money available at this point in free agency. But obviously the Patriots had a ton to spend. I hope, for Drake May's sake, this is not the end of the Patriots adding weapons for that offense. For a few reasons. One, I do think you need more than just like one go-to wide receiver that you pepper the ball with. And then, Pop Douglas is nice, and Kayshon Boutte is there, and Ramondre Stevenson out of the backfield. But also, Stephon Diggs is older and coming off a significant injury. So his availability can't be depended upon for 17 games next year, and you don't want to leave your young quarterback that has shown a ton of potential. UNC fans already knew it, but everybody seemed to have their eyes open to Drake May last year's rookie year in the NFL. I'll put it this way. I say all of that to say this. If Travis Hunter is there with the 4th overall pick, I think that would be mighty appetizing to the Patriots, and they don't have a need at corner. They have they just signed Carlton Davis to a big corner contract, and they already have Christian Gonzalez, who's one of the best young corners in the league. He loved the deal that J.C. Horn signed because he's going, pretty soon that's mine. So that would allow Travis Hunter to have a much bigger role on offense than he would for other teams, and I think he's a very good receiver. So if they put Diggs at like wide receiver 1, Travis Hunter at 1B, Pop Douglas at 2, Ramondre Stevenson out of the backfield getting a bunch of dump-offs, suddenly Drake May has like a real NFL offense around him, which you didn't have much of last year. Anything you'd like to add, Dennis, before we quit it and hit the next?
I think it's a low-risk, high-reward deal for New England in this regard because, again, only $26 million is guaranteed, so that's basically 1 year. If it doesn't work, you can move on. And if it does, okay, then you still have him under contract, that him being Stephon Diggs. I think it helps, but again, the big question mark is coming off that major knee injury. How is he going to be at his age? And it's different. Like, if you're a Panther fan, you see that signing, you go, oh, gosh, I'm so glad the Panthers didn't sign. That's so much money. The Patriots had the money. It's like they got tons of it. They had a boatload of cap space, so it's like, you may have where we grew up. And we're at the swap meet, and when I was a kid, for some reason, I had a real infatuation with the Hawaiian tiki for luck. It was just a funny thing as a kid that I liked. And there was a Lucky Tiki bottle opener that I just wanted. Now, I'm an adult at this point in time. I have my own money. And it was like $3, but it's a flea market, so you negotiate. And my wife was there, and she was like, we're not paying more than $1. Talking to the guy. And I'm like, well, okay, you can negotiate. She's like, I got this. Guy wouldn't budge. He's like, $2.50. $1, $2.50. She's like, that's it. We're walking away. And we walked away. And we got 40 yards from the booth. And I was like, Mandy, I wanted the Lucky Tiki. Like, we can afford $2.50. So we're not walking away off of $1, even if you think it's only worth $1. Like, I'm going to go back. And I went back, and I think I gave the guy $3. And I was just like, hey, here. Sorry about all that. Let me get my Lucky Tiki bottle opener, and I still have it to this day. That's the Patriots. It's like, Stephon Diggs, he's not worth $1 more than $15 million. They're going like, okay, but I don't want to walk. I want the player. I'm not going to walk away over, $5 million a year or whatever it ended up being. Like, I have it and I want it, so I'm going to spend it. There you go. Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Speaking of NFL transactions and moves, looks like Russell Wilson is joining the New York Giants on a 1-year deal worth up to $21 million. Tim, I don't know if that's much better currently in Russell Wilson's state than Daniel Jones, but hey, it is what it is. They now have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Tommy DeVito. That's going to be one entertaining quarterback room, to be honest. But I'm also curious, Tim, the fact that they re-signed DeVito, they re-signed Jameis Winston. Now you're bringing in Russell Wilson. Again, all possible insurance if you don't draft a quarterback. Are we reading too much into the fact that maybe they don't like Shedeur Sanders? Well, they're only in on Cam Ward. They don't like Shedeur, or they're anticipating neither of those guys being available at pick number 3.
There's two ways to look at it. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, there's one important way to look at it, which is I think it's $15 million locked up in your quarterback room right now for this upcoming year, which is nothing, right?
Yeah, it's nothing at all, really.
You can draft a quarterback there and just tell Jameis Winston you're inactive for his salary. It's not a ton of money actually locked up in quarterbacks. So yes, what you said is this maybe makes it so if Cam Ward goes 1, Shedeur Sanders goes 2, or vice versa, they aren't in a complete panic. But it also might mean they don't love whichever of those 2 they think might be available at 3, so they're preparing to not draft them. Or it could be this is so nobody trades with Cleveland to jump up and jump over us to get a quarterback because they think we're going to take it, right? It's an interesting deal. I've said this a few times on Twitter recently to people that are asking me questions. This is 100% smokescreen season.
Oh, absolutely.
Believe nothing of what you hear and almost nothing of what you see from NFL teams. Who was it? Caleb Johnson, the running back from Iowa.
Yeah.
He just visited with the Titans. And I saw a reporter going, the Titans, they have Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. Why are they talking to a running back? And my thought is like, because they want someone else to think they might draft a running back, or they want some agent to think that their running back's job is like they're sending messages with even if they talk to somebody, it's not that, right? It could be anything. I saw one team had dinner with both Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins at the same time, both running backs for Ohio State. Like there's misinformation going all over the place. So yeah, maybe Jameis Winston is there as a smokescreen to make you think they're not drafting a quarterback when they are.
Imagine this. What if Chicago, who picks at number 39 and 41, took both of those Ohio State running backs at 39 and 41? That'd be pretty baller.
Well, if it's going to happen, Chicago would be a great option for it.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
Ben Johnson, their quarterback or their brand new coach, is coming from Detroit, where they had David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs, who, if you watched any Ohio State football this year, including the CFP run, well, Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins are the college version of Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery.
Exactly.
They play different roles, but both are wildly effective. So if Ben Johnson got both, he would know how to use the 2 running back system.
That'd be fun.
Let's quit that. Let's hit this.
You like that? You like that?
All right, I'm going to audible here.
Okay.
Can you give me 3 minutes to rant real quick?
Absolutely.
Adam Schefter just tweeted this out. The Titans have signed veteran quarterback Tim Boyle, who has spent 6 seasons in the NFL with the Packers, Lions, Bears, Jets, Texans, Dolphins, and Giants. Tim Boyle is, and this is no disrespect to Tim Boyle, okay? Tim Boyle, as long as you can stay in the NFL, keep doing you, my guy. Keep finding a way to get people to pay you to play football. He is I say again, not disrespecting Tim Boyle, a cockroach in my football fandom. I don't understand why his football career will not die. Can I give you his college statistics real quick?
Please do.
In college, he never had a single season where he threw more touchdowns than interceptions. He played at the University of Connecticut, UConn, for 3 seasons. He threw 1 touchdown and 13 interceptions. He then went to, I believe it was Eastern Kentucky. Close. Where, once again, statistics, not great. 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. And somehow he made it into the NFL. And you may go, well, in the NFL, he must have something great going on. 5 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. I don't understand why 7 NFL teams have paid this guy money, however many it's up to now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th team that will pay him money to play football. I used to think, because he started with the Packers, and I used to think he was just a guy that like Aaron Rodgers got along with, and the Packers were like, it's easier to just keep a dude that can have conversations with him than bring in someone else who might upset him. But the Bears, the Lions, the Texans, the Dolphins, the Giants, and now the Titans with no Aaron Rodgers have given this guy. I do my best, right? I was a average FCS quarterback. Okay, that's the way I do not have delusions of me being anything great. The NFL never came calling, and I wasn't expecting them to. He's the only one that makes me go, well, if he's there, maybe I should have tried. I look at every other quarter, I see, probably at another level. Him, I'm going like, I don't know. There's the high school quarterbacks out there that are probably going like, well, if Tim Boyle could do it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's wild. He must be unbelievable in shorts and a T-shirt at a workout. And people just go, I don't know. He's got to be great. That's the only way I can describe it.
He's probably really good at film. That's,
Yeah, must be the best hang ever. Just a great dude in the locker room.
It is funny. You mentioned at UConn in 3 seasons, he had 13 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Eastern Kentucky, he had 13 interceptions. Mm-hmm. And in the NFL, he has 13 interceptions.
All right. So,
I mean, there's a trend here. There's a trend here.
And in none of those does he have more than 13 touchdowns. In college, he had 12 touchdowns across UConn and Eastern Kentucky, 12 touchdowns and 26 interceptions. Completed 55% of his passes. And somehow that got him a look in the NFL, which is surprising. Then he's gone to the NFL, and he's played poorly, throwing 5 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, and somehow he keeps getting more opportunities. I don't get it. And it's every time he gets cut, every time offseason comes around, I'm like, all right, well, hopefully he kept those 5 touchdown balls to put in his den. And then he gets signed again. And it's not his fault. If people keep paying you to play football, keep doing it.
Ain't going to blame him for it. By the way, according to Spotrac, his career earnings $8.2 million.
That I've been tracking the touchdown to interception ratio because it's a thorn in I had not been tracking them. $8.2 million.
Hey, good on him. It'll make pension and everything.
This is going to be what, 7 years? How? All right, we can quit that and hit it. I don't know where we are going next.
We got better tonight.
Let's actually go to a couple college football things. Couple college football things. By the way, Stanford fired their head coach. I guess there's some stuff going on within the athletic department that he was, maybe doing some inappropriate
misogynistic
things.
comments.
Yeah, towards female staffers.
Allegedly.
Again, that's what's being reported. That's what's being said. So nonetheless, Stanford is already looking for a new football coach. In the middle of spring football, speaking of spring football, Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State, says, hey, let's run it back with Oklahoma as a spring game. But also maybe not necessarily a full-on game, but a couple of padded practices like you see in the NFL, a couple scrimmage-type practices, whatever it might be. And he actually posed that you alternate where the game is played. Okay. 1 year in Stillwater, the other in Norman. But that you take the gate, each team split the gate, and then each school puts that towards NIL for the players, which I think is interesting. But here's the thing. The NCAA does not allow football to have out-of-season games or contests.
All right.
So that's kind of the tricky thing that comes into it. I like the concept of it, though.
Here, what I like is the outside-the-box thinking.
Yes, I'm with the idea of, okay, let's try something different.
And I think college sports need to do more of that, more experimenting. You can always go back to the way it was. The thing I don't like about it, it can't be Oak State, Oklahoma, for this reason. Spring ball is a lot about getting better. It's also a lot about staying healthy. When you do joint practices, there's a reason why like NFL joint practices, it's usually like head coaches that have worked together in the past, or like there's some kind of like good relationship there where you're confident that it's going to be handled appropriately. You put a rivalry out there in a joint practice where there's like a 15-yard penalty, doesn't actually matter because it's a practice. You're putting your I don't think that's a good place for it. I think when you have Oklahoma and Oklahoma State on a football field at the same time, you want penalties to matter. You want referees to have real power. You want it to be a good controlled atmosphere. But I do love the idea of spring games against other teams. I just think it needs to be more friendly, right? I've said this for a long time. FCS versus FBS spring games. It's an opportunity to spice up a spring game. You don't play those FCS games during the regular season, which gives you more entertaining in-season non-conference games against other FBS teams. And the FCS teams still get those like big stadium experiences, and you get to go. I like the.
I'm with that a lot.
I'm all about, but I don't want to like shame. This was Gundy saying this, right?
Yes, Mike Gundy.
I don't want to shame anybody that's throwing out good, like no bad ideas. Let's brainstorm. I just think if you put Oklahoma State and Oklahoma in a less controlled environment than a real game, there's a good chance you're going to walk away with helmets flying, and that's not good. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was Hit It and Quit It. Before we move on, it is bracket season. Everybody, oh, my bracket's busted. My bracket's winning. Oh, my son who doesn't watch anything has a bracket that's better than mine. Meanwhile, I'm over here just worried about my watch bracket. Tim Donnelly for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Bailey's and I have partnered up to put together a 16-watch bracket with matchups of some of the coolest watch models in history, which, by the way, are all available for purchase at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Just check them out at their Village District location in Raleigh, the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, Omega Boutique, all located right inside that location. So here's how it all breaks down. They've put together a 16-team bracket of watch models, and I have to decide which ends up in the winner's circle, right? Which advances to the next round. And today's matchup is the Cartier Tank against the Glashütte Original Watch Company CQ. This is, first of all, they're different, right? The Cartier Tank, it's going to be a different shape. It's going to have a different vibe. It's going to be a little bit more military influenced, and it comes with the history of, many of you remember Jackie Kennedy was famous for her tank with the black strap. So that's on one side. On the other, you have the Glashütte Original, which is history. It is similar to Cartier with the little bit of the extra class, but it also comes with the historical nature of being the specialist collection inspired by the brand's dive watches. So because of the functionality, right, the Cartier Tank, it's awesome, but it is more fashion-y to me. The Glashütte does come with the technical aspects, the mechanical aspects a little bit more. I'm going with the Glashütte, but man, it's tough to eliminate the tank, the Cartier Tank, the famous Cartier Tank in the first round, but they made me do it. They put the matchup together. It's Bailey's Fine Jewelry. If you're interested in either of those watches, you want to check out what they look like on your wrist, head out to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location. Make sure they know you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan. It is Mock Draft Wednesday, and I have a question that I promise you is outside the box about what the Panthers should do with their 8th overall pick. Stick around.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Will you make the right call? Time's running out, pressure's on, and you need your roof replaced. Hi, I'm Holly from RoofWorks. It's 4th and goal, and the decision's in your hands. The competition can't stop you. You're about to score the game winner. We've trained for years for this moment to raise the roof for you. So avoid the noise and put us in the game. Call RoofWorks today or visit us online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
A torn ACL, stress fracture, aching back, a hip that's had it, life on hold, and all you want is to get it back. Enter Wake Orthopedics. Our fellowship-trained orthopedists do it all. General, sports, pediatric, joint replacement, fractures, spine, prevention, advanced diagnostics, progressive treatments, minimally invasive procedures, surgeries, and more. Visit wakemed.org/wakeortho and get back your life.
Hey everybody, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. FanDuel is giving all customers the chance to take a swing at $500,000 in bonus bets every day from March 27th through the 30th, this Thursday through Sunday. It's all part of the $500,000 daily home run jackpot. All you got to do, use your jackpot profit boost on a player to homer if they go yard. Not only will you get bigger winnings on your home run bet, you'll also get a share of that day's $500,000 jackpot. This season on FanDuel, big wins are on deck. So head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul and look for the daily home run jackpot. Make every moment more with FanDuel, your home for betting home runs. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Must apply profit boost token on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct pick. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of The Drive brought to you by Enbridge Gas, formerly Dominion Energy North Carolina Gas. Dominion Energy North Carolina Gas customers are now proudly served by Enbridge Gas. Looking forward to a bright future together. To learn more, visit enbridgegas.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's the deal, everybody. We are, what would you say, 4 weeks and 1 day from the NFL draft?
That is correct, 29 days.
4 weeks and 1 day from the NFL draft. And every Wednesday we've been doing mock drafts conversations for a while now. Today's I'm asking a question that's outside the box. And do you know what this is inspired by? It's inspired by a random person on social media who right, because Ashton Genty on all the mock drafts now is going as high as like number 6 to the Raiders. And
I've been hearing that for a while.
And you rarely see him fall further than 12 to the Cowboys.
Which makes sense.
And I just saw somebody on social media say, what if Genty goes in the second round? And my original thought was, well, that's foolish. But you think about it, you're like, well, running backs are devalued, and he does have a lot of carries, and you know, what if he does fall to 33? And then how much would that change everything else up? And if he's not drafted till the second, then you're pretty confident these other running backs aren't. Then how light does – and it was like, okay, that's just such an out there conversation that I thought, is there anything we're missing in the Panthers at 8 with the 8th overall pick that is so out there that it just might be something they should consider, right? Hadn't thought about it because it seems so crazy, but maybe we should dive in. And we were talking off air, Dennis. I'm sure you're getting the same thing that I'm getting when we put out Panthers content, which is fans really, really, really want to trade back, right? Fans, why don't we trade back? We can get that guy at 15. We can get that guy at 20 and pick up extra firsts and seconds. Why don't we trade back? That's the overwhelming response I hear from Panther fans. So, if everybody wants to trade back, what if they trade up? What if they go from 8 to 4 or 8 to 3, right? What if? Now you may be saying, that's crazy, that's stupid. They have so many needs. Why would they? Yes, I agree. On the surface, crazy, stupid. But hear me out here. I was reading ESPN put out a rating, a power ranking of free agencies. I mean, if there's anything that like online sports websites do, they love a ranking, they love a list. So they ranked free agencies in the NFL. They're not ranking teams after free agency. They ranked how well each team did in free agency. And the Panthers were 25th. That's obviously bottom third of the league. Not great. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think they were better. So let's just get that out of the way. But their reasoning was they liked the small moves. They didn't like the big moves, right? They didn't like the big paying of J.C. Horn, didn't like the Wharton signing, but they did like a lot of the smaller stuff. They did like Rico Dowdle. They did like Mike Jackson. They like some of the smaller moves that were made. And again, I think they did better, but I do see if you're somebody that, judges every trade by who got the best player in the trade, right? If you're somebody that you like the movie star rather than the movie cast, right? You're somebody that you want the big crown jewel. The Panthers didn't really add that this offseason. But they could if you trade up. And there's a specific reason why I said 3 or 4. Third pick or fourth pick. What did we talk about during Hitting Quidditch a second ago? The Giants signed Russell Wilson and had already signed Jameis Winston. And maybe that opens them up to not having a dire need to take a quarterback at number 3, which would mean they might be open to trading back. And the Patriots, 4th overall, signed Stephon Diggs. So maybe that came with the expectation of they hope to move back, maybe add a Tet McMillan rather than a Travis Hunter, and give them more draft capital and another side, another kind of side 1A to go with Stephon Diggs 1B. Dennis, I know you did some math on this. It would not be cheap.
No, it would not be. If they wanted to move up to the 4th overall pick, it would cost them the 8th pick. It would also cost them a 2nd rounder and one of their 4ths to move up from 8 to 4 with New England. To go from 8 to 3, it will cost even more than that.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's really expensive to go get one guy.
I do think there is a tier in this year's draft, which would be, and obviously the quarterbacks are not included in the Panthers' goal here, but the top 4 picks I expect to be, unless Shedeur Sanders falls, which is the only option that I could see mixing it up. Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, not Tet McMillan, Travis Hunter, and Abdul Carter. If at 4 you can get Carter or Hunter, that's crown jewel stuff. And that is, I think, a conversation you would have. I don't think I would trade up to do it, especially with the Panthers' history recently of trading up and maybe giving up too much for a top pick, Bryce Young. But as I said to Dennis off air, I would do the high school debate thing. If I am Dan Morgan, the GM of the Panthers, I'm taking 2 of my most trusted, I believe, most intelligent scouts, and I'm saying, hey, take today and give me every reason. I'm telling one of them, Scout A, take today and give me every reason why we should pounce on what we think might be a Hall of Fame caliber defensive player with the 4th overall pick and trade up. And I'm looking at the other and I'm saying, Scout B, I want you to take today and give me every reason why this trade up would be the dumbest thing in the world. And at 4:00 today, we're all going to meet in the team room and we're going to let you guys try to convince us. Because A, that's what this time of year is about. You got to explore every single option, right? Just talking about it doesn't mean you're doing it. And B, if you look at the biggest turnarounds in NFL history where teams went from bottom feeders to contenders, there's usually a Hall of Famer added to the roster somewhere. There's usually one great player somewhere that changes a lot. And if you think that's Hunter or Carter, and I do think those 2 guys are legit in their talent, you don't want to 10 years from now be what's Sean Payton talking about Patrick Mahomes. Sean Payton will tell anybody on any podcast anywhere that he wanted to go up and get Patrick Mahomes. He knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be a great quarterback. He knew, but didn't make sense at the time to trade up and get him. They didn't have the capital. They had Drew Brees, didn't explore it, right? And then the Chiefs ended up moving up, and the rest is history. They got a whole bunch of Super Bowls out of it. If there's a chance you're going to be that with Abdul Carter, if there's a chance you're going to be 10 years from now going, I knew Travis Hunter was going to revolutionize the sport with his 2-way ability, and I didn't move up because it would have been expensive. You don't want to be that guy. So explore it. Do the math. Do the mental exercises. I still think you're going to come out on the other side saying you're not going to make the trade. But at least you'll have less regret 10 years from now if Travis Hunter is the next Deion Sanders / like Julio Jones, right? Like if that ends up happening, which I don't know, those are weird comps for him on offense and defense. But if that ends up happening, at least you'll know you didn't leave any stone unturned in the process. And it's exciting, right? Do a couple mocks. What happens if we have 9 picks? What do we have to give up? Could we move up? Would they take a player? Huh? What do we have to spend?
We do that again?
Will they take DJ Moore, all of our first-round picks, and most of our second? Oh wait, sorry. That's the last GM
revisiting that.
But also don't be afraid because of that. Why do the Cardinals have Kyler Murray? Because they drafted Josh Rosen in the first round, and it was an extreme mistake, and they weren't afraid to take a quarterback in the first round the next year and took Kyler Murray, obviously working out better. Don't think because you traded up once and it didn't work that it's always not going to work. You just have to make sure your evaluations are better than they were last time. That's all I'm saying. If you give up a future first, make sure you're not the worst team in the league that year. That's all I'm going to say.
Who would you move up for? Give me one name real fast.
I think Hunter is special.
You think Hunter?
I like Carter. I think Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft.
Okay.
Positional importance, I don't even know what position he plays. So it's a confusing answer. I think Shedeur Sanders is nearly going to be a top 5 pick because he can underthrow Travis Hunter and he makes the catches anyway. And when he throws an interception, Travis Hunter goes and gets it back for him on the other side. He's that dude from what I've watched. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something for you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, what could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards, or even start that home remodel, that home improvement project you've been thinking about. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, and often no appraisal. Listen. The average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day. So act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. Get the money you need for anything. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, gets to the starting 5 up next, including couple of big dominoes falling in the portal for UNC. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Hey, I know Cooper Flagg didn't win all of the awards. He won the 2 major ones. He got Player of the Year. He got Rookie of the Year. Neither were unanimous, which blows my mind. But he should have won Defensive Player of the Year as well. And John Shire was the Coach of the Year. Yes, I know Duke has all these great players. They were 19-1. They were 28-3. Historical point differential. Come on.
The Adam Gold Show, weekday starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's the Jeep Celebration event at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Get ready for the ride of your life with 25% off your new 2024 Jeep Gladiator. Cruise through the toughest terrain, tackle any adventure, and look great doing it. Whether you're off-roading or on the road, the Gladiator is built for all. So get off your keister and get to Heister because this deal won't last long. See dealer for details. Hurry into the Jeep Celebration event. On now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Welcome home. Your home is more than just walls and windows. It's where your story unfolds. At Baker Home Exteriors, we understand that every detail helps write that story. For over a century, our parent company, Baker Roofing, has set the standard for excellence. And now we're bringing that same dedication to your home. From roofing and siding to windows, gutters, and more, our craftsmen transform houses into the sanctuaries you've always imagined. Visit BakerHomeExteriors.com to begin your home's next chapter.
It's bow time.
Finally, lunchtime. I'm starving.
What's that?
This is the Bojangler from Bojangles.
With the same bold flavor as their chicken?
The same.
And fries?
The same.
Huh. Well, I've got a PB&J.
Yeah, that's not the same.
A crispy fish fillet dusted in Bo's famous seasoning. With cheese and tartar sauce on a fluffy bun, the Bojangler's back. Hook one while you can. It's Bo time.
There's no time like Bojangler time. Time to stop whatever you're doing and head over to Bojangles to try the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. You heard right, the Bojangler Fish Fillet Sandwich. A perfectly seasoned, light, flaky, wild-caught Alaskan pollock fish fillet sandwich. For limited time at participating Bojangles. Make it a combo and add Bojangles seasoned fries and legendary iced tea. Hungry for Bojangles but in the mood for something different? Then it's Bojangler time.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping. And you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. We have the potential for some light scattered frost overnight from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. Most of us are under a frost advisory, the low temperature 35. Mostly sunny, not quite as cold for your Thursday. The high temperature up to about 68.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 132 points today to 42,454.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Monday, I think it was like 4:47. The first college basketball, men's basketball transfer portal entry filed his name. It was 4:47 in the morning, and by the end of the day, they had over 900 names in the men's basketball transfer portal.
You think he woke up for 4:47 or was up all night?
Do you want to hear a very gross answer?
Yeah,
I think it was probably his agent.
Yeah, that is a gross answer, by the way.
And that is leading us into our starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ends up to Proctor, but Cadeau gets back and blocks the shot off the backboard.
And by the way, I think it was probably a good move by the agent because that name was mentioned more. It was in there more. It was the first notification. More schools probably checked him out because he was first than if he would have been 5th. So, credit to the agent, if that's how it happened. UNC, though, had a couple players hit the portal that they don't need to be first to get noticed because former 4- and 5-star players always get a chance. Elliott Cadeau, Jalen Washington go into the portal. Cadeau is apparently the lightning rod. He's the polarizing one. Is UNC making a mistake by not doing everything they can to keep him, or are they going to be better because Elliott Cadeau is on the way out? And if you want to go have those debates, find them online. They are being had all over the place. Here's the way I look at it. After a season like the one UNC just had finishes up, change is going to happen. Change is going to happen. If you have a bad season, whether it is deserved or not, players will lose their jobs. If you have a bad season, whether it is deserved or not, changes will occur. It's especially once you decide the coaches are staying. Right? It's like in football, right? If there's a bad season and the head coach keeps his job, it's almost a guarantee a coordinator's on the way out. Like something's got to change. In college basketball, they don't really have like offense and defensive coordinators. I know they do, but they're not as prominent. They don't own their side of the basketball as much. So the players are the ones that are going to suffer, right? You can love Cadeau. Wish him best on the way out, but something was going to change. If I said this yesterday, if I'm UNC, Drake Powell, Van Allen Lubin, Seth Trimble. Those are the ones that I would make sure I do what I can to keep. Everything else, it's got to be new. It's got to be fresh. It's got to be something exciting. Spend your money in the portal. Spend your time in the portal checking it out. And understand that it can be like with college sports being more jobs, more professional. You can't take it as personal, right? Dennis, I'm sure you've had this. I've had this, right? Where we've actually had a decent amount of it recently. People in your office take a job somewhere else. You don't go like, what? Why? We've put in so much work to get you shake their hand. You say, hey, good luck. Hopefully you and your family are happy with the next move. And then we get right back to trying to put together the best radio station we have here. And whoever replaces them, welcome to the team. This is the direction we're going. That kind of has to be college basketball now.
Yeah, 100%.
It's, hey, man, we had some good runs. Remember that one game where you hit the threes? Ha, ha, ha. Love it. Hopefully you have fun elsewhere. I promise you we're going to be going in the right direction here, and whoever your replacement is going to have to get on board and ride with us. If you're a fan of a team, you can be a fan of a team. You can also be a fan of players. I know old-timers hate that. Do you know, and it frustrated me for a while, but I'm on board with it now. I'm not on board. I'm okay with it. It used to be, hey, who's your favorite NBA team? And they would say, I'm a fan of the Hornets. Now it's like, who's your favorite NBA team? Well, I was a fan of the Cavs. Then I was a fan of Miami. Then I was back with the Cavs. Now I'm a Laker fan. It's like, oh, so you're a LeBron fan. Got you. And yeah, that's what it is now. You can be a Cadeau fan if you want. Well, I rooted for UNC for 2 years, and now I'm going to go root for St. John's or Auburn, wherever he ends up, and maybe I'll come back to UNC, and maybe if that's the way you do your fandom, that's the way you do your fandom. It's not how I do it, but if that's how you do it, you can do it. Although I will say this, Dennis, 10-year-old Dennis, who is your favorite athlete?
10-year-old Dennis? Let's see, that would have been 1996. I was probably a Michael Jordan or John Elway.
First of all, great answers. Yeah. I was also a big Elway guy. At that point in time, I was a Mike Piazza fan, Mets. If Mike Piazza would have been traded to any other team, I would have been like, well, it's going to be tough for me not to root for that guy. If you are a fan of a player, feel free to keep rooting for Cadeau or Washington or anyone that hits the portal, hopefully until they face your team. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to be mad about it. You can be happy that everybody's looking for greener pastures. That's number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Waiting. Half the shot clock is gone. Proctor again. Off of the screen set by Malawach. A bruising screen. How about another 3? Oh, yeah! Proctor's got 5. 19 points. Back to a 20-point lead.
Little look ahead here to the Sweet 16 tomorrow. Duke versus Arizona. It's the later game in Birmingham, I believe. Not Birmingham. Newark,
New Jersey. Yes, it's the second of 2 games in Newark.
Birmingham is where the UNC Duke women's game is being played.
Correct.
Looking at the Duke Arizona Newark Sweet 16 men's basketball game. These 2 teams played on November 22nd. So there is a temptation to go, Duke won by 14 against them already this year. Lock it up. Start the train. We're rolling to the Elite 8. Duke fans, don't do that. And not just because, Arizona's had a season to work and, right, they're getting better and Tommy Lloyd, the coach, is, empowered them. And no, also Duke is wildly different. It is like a time capsule for this Duke basketball season, going back and looking just at the box score of that Duke-Arizona game November 22nd. Here are some things that happened in that Duke-Arizona game on November 22nd, in addition to Duke winning 69-55, which is just a knockdown, drag-out early season game. Caleb Foster started the game. He was in the starting lineup, and he played 26 minutes, mostly as a primary ball handler. He is... I think his role could more equally or more accurately be described now as bench spark. He gets thrown in maybe once a half to go out there and give great energy, maybe make a layup and flex, and then he goes back to the bench. There were times this year where he was a DNP coach's decision, and that came after this Arizona game. So that right there is different. Speaking of DNP coach's decision, Isaiah Evans did not play in that game against Arizona at all. Patrick Gongba, who was dealing with some injuries preseason, didn't play in that game at all. They're both, depending on, like, Isaiah Evans is very much he gets into the game in the first half. If he hits a three, he might play 25 minutes. Like, if he's hot, you ride that heat stroke. Gongba is just playing a lot. He is in the rotation, whether other guys are in foul trouble or not, whether he's starting hot or not. Like, he's just playing a bunch since the ACC tournament. They both played a combined 0 minutes against Arizona back on November 22nd. And even guys that are playing different roles. Cooper Flagg, in that first game against Arizona, is the 5th game of the year for Duke. He took 22 shots. He attempted 22 field goal attempts. That's his career high. And I thought it was interesting because, by the way, Duke fans, you're probably enjoying this. Fans of the other teams in the Triangle, you're probably hating this. I swear, every sports website I go on, every day there's a new, like, I call them the Paul Bunyan tales of Cooper Flagg, where they just go talk to, like, high school coaches and AAU teammates, and they just tell the tall tales about how awesome this guy is. First of all, he is the best player in the country. But there's only so many different ways you can write that article. Like, we get it. He's competitive, and he likes playing defense, and he likes winning. And he's going to be the number 1 overall pick. But there's one out right now on ESPN. Julius Hodge is quoted. Why? Because he's the coach of the university that played an exhibition against Duke before the season started. So they have his input. Cooper Flagg took 22 shots against Arizona the first time. Career high. Probably didn't quite, maybe subconscious or consciously, trust his teammates yet, right? Still getting to know him. Hadn't seen him knock down big shots, so he was like, it's cool, I'll do it myself. If you watch him now play, he is very much like, if you're going to double team me, I'll kick it to him. I'll kick it to Con Knipple. I'll kick it to Isaiah Evans. I'll throw the lob to Kaban Malawash. They're different, better in a lot of ways, but they are different. So you can't just look at the previous Arizona-Duke game and go, Duke won by 14. Chalk it up.
All good.
Send it again. They are a very different team than they were then. We'll talk about the matchup tomorrow, obviously, as you get ready for the Sweet 16. That's number 4. Let's jump to number 3.
Bryce under center. Chuba's the deep back. Snap. Give it to Chuba. Chuba inside the 10. 5. Slides into the end zone. Touchdown Panthers. He spikes the ball, and Carolina's got a lead.
Dan Morgan, the GM of the Panthers, and Brant Tillis, the assistant GM of the Panthers, spoke to the media today about free agency, also getting ready for the draft. NFL draft less than a month away, 29 days away from right now. We played some of the audio earlier. There's one piece we haven't gotten to yet, so we'll start there. Brant Tillis, assistant GM for the Panthers, about the players that were added in free agency and what's already in place with Dave Canales and the team that's been there this past year.
We're really excited about what we accomplished in free agency, the direction our roster is headed. We think that the players who we acquired are going to add to the culture of competition that Coach Canales has created. We're looking forward to the draft, obviously, but for now with free agency, we're just super excited about these players who we got.
Free agents, Dennis, correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to later in the show talk about how ridiculous the portal opening is and when it happens and the timing involved with college football and college basketball, and it's ridiculous. I think the NFL should change up their calendar as well.
How so?
Draft before free agency.
They used to do that.
And it, like, the draft is limited, right? You only have so many picks. There's only so many. The free agency can be anything, right? It's a true, like, magic beans. it's very difficult to execute free agency well without knowing who's going to be there with the 8th overall pick or who's going to be there in the first 2 rounds for you to draft. It makes it difficult, right? Because you're trying to build the goal, and I'm not breaking news here. This isn't a secret. Your goal is to have the most complete roster you possibly can by next season. I think what you ask GMs and assistant GMs like Brant Tillis to do is very difficult, which is look at the roster you have, add the most versatile pieces, but lock them in, right? Free agency, you could say, all right, our backup left tackle, we're going to add in free agency, right? You can just say like free agency will solve that, and you can solve that 100% of the time in free agency. Go spend the money, find the player. You can't do that with the draft. You can't say like backup left tackle will get in the draft because they just might not be there. So do the draft first where it's more custom, like unique pieces, then fill with free agency. You'll have more complete rosters. You'll have better teams. You'll have better football. Do the draft first. Do the draft first. Because, maybe they don't sign Pat Jones if they know they're getting Michael Williams. For those that don't know those names, Pat Jones was a edge rusher that they signed to a 2-year deal. 2-year, like $20 million from the Vikings in free agency. Michael Williams is an edge rusher from Georgia who's been mocked to the Panthers a few times. If they sign Williams, maybe they don't sign Jones because they're like, we have our edge rusher rotation, and then they get to take that 2 years, $20 million, go spend it on a depth wide receiver. Now the offense is better, the defense is just as good, and we have a better Panthers next year. Well, what do I know? Just someone that covers the sport. If you want more of that audio, we did play it earlier in the show. You can go find it in podcasts and the like.
It's on YouTube already?
There you go. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Subscribe while you're there. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Hey, Wolfpack Nation. This is Will Wade. I'm excited to land in Raleigh. We're on the plane, ready to go. Go Pack.
Do you know what's funny? That is obviously Will Wade, NC State's new coach. He had his introductory press conference yesterday. We have some audio to play for you. There is something about a selfie video when you're holding the phone that makes like the most charismatic person seem kind of awkward. I don't know what it is. It's like Will Wade at the podium. He was charismatic. He was captivating. I think he did a really, really good job. Even when he was sitting at the table during the presser and he was sitting next to the Chancellor and Boo Corrigan, you could tell he was leaning over, had a couple jokes. They would laugh. Like he was handling the room.
He's very charismatic.
You put him holding his phone, sitting in a jet, talking, hey, Wolfpack Nation. Like, I don't know what it is. That's the least smooth I've seen him. But it is what it is. Let's jump to the audio from yesterday. Again, we played a bunch of this earlier, but we haven't yet played this clip for you. Will Wade was asked what type of players he wants at NC State on NC State's roster. This was his answer.
I really like kids who have overcome adversity. I think if you've overcome adversity in life to get here, you're going to, you're going to be able to overcome adversity when you're on the court. We want guys that are gritty, grimy, guys that are tough, guys that are going to get their hands in the, I always say you don't put championship rings on smooth fingers. Like you got to be able to get your hands in the mud, and you got to be able to dig in there. And so we want guys that are going to do that and represent who we are.
All right, a few things. One, every coach has the sayings, man. I love them. You don't put championship rings on smooth fingers? Come on.
That's a good one.
What did he say at the podium? He said, I tell my players, drink from the well, but don't forget who dug it. Meaning, like, don't forget about the players that, built NC State into what it is in the past, the past champions and stuff. I love a good saying from a coach. Do you know what is fascinating about that answer? Fascinating about, I want players that have overcome adversity. I want players that have been through some stuff. It's very similar to what Dave Canales said he tries to learn about players before the draft.
Oh, yeah.
Where Dave Canales said, I want to know your story. I want to know what you've overcome. I want to know how you think you overcame it. Like, tell me, it's
I thought the exact same thing.
It's very similar, and it's interesting. I'm not sure if it's the most fair thing in the world because it's like, I don't know, If a player was highly ranked as a 6th grader, has like a good family life, went to a good school, and has worked extremely hard and is a 5-star, would you want him to go like, I don't know, run away from home to have some adversity in his life? Like, what'd you want him to do? But I do think there's something interesting in finding out, and it's why it's one of those cheesy interview questions that you get when you're taking a job. Like, tell me sometime you've experienced some form of adversity and how you've overcome it. I do think it's good to have a plan, right? When the going gets tough, here's what I need to do to make sure I get going. I've been there. I'll use a coaching, this isn't a coaching phrase, but I'll use a coaching story, right? Man's in a hole. Can't get out. He's stuck. Doctor walks by. Doctor, I'm stuck in this hole. I need you to get me out. Doctor writes a prescription on a piece of paper, throws it into him, and walks down. What am I supposed to do with this? Musician walks by. Musician, I'm in a hole. I need you to get me out. Guy sings him a song, keeps it moving. He's like, all right, well, that didn't help me either. His friend walks by. He goes, Friend, I'm in a hole. I need you to get me out. Friend jumps in the hole with him. He looks at him and goes, what are you doing? Now we're both stuck in this hole. He says, yeah, but I've been in this hole before and I know the way out. Follow me. Ha ha ha. Ba-doom-doom. That's what a coach is supposed to do, right? Listen, I know the way out of these bad situations. When we show up flat and we're down 10 in the first half, I know the way out, but you have to trust that you're going to do what I ask, right? And the same is true kind of for yourself. If you find yourself in a hole that you've been in before, you know the way out. I'm going to trust you when you're in a different hole to find your way out. Huh? How's that for a coaching? Use that in your pregame speech, Will Wade. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! The Canes reload as Jarvis sets it in, and what a goal! Taylor Hall continues it. He scored the last 4 in a row for Carolina, and on the power play, the Canes within 1.
The Canes lost last night to Nashville. That was an awesome goal from Taylor Hall. Whole thing about it, the setup, it was a chef's kiss. It was beautiful. The rest of the game, not as much. It was a 3-1 loss to Nashville at home. For the details, here's 2 minutes of gold with our very own Adam Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that left Raleigh with the Nashville Predators and way more than 2 opportunities to do something about it, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep Health Centers for better sleep. First, Carolina gave up the first goal last night, and it was a bad one. Not only did Pyotr Kochetkov not have to extend himself to make a save on a shot that was about 2 feet wide of the net, which he did, but when the puck was behind him, he couldn't find it. He covered up ice. He didn't cover up the puck, and our old friend Michael Bunting just slid it into the goal. It was a power play goal, really at the end of a great penalty kill, so Carolina's kind of deflated from giving up the first goal. But honestly, the Hurricanes dominated the first 2 periods. They should have scored 6 times, but they didn't, even early in the 3rd period. They had a great opportunity, and if you don't believe me, check this out.
Here comes Jarvis, back in for it, Saros with the save. Down the boards, Aho out in front for Blake. He redirects it just wide. That shot out in front, deflected as Aho got it there. Now a chance for Jarvis as Aho had the tip. Now it's Burns. He's shot high off the glass. Jost, he's going to make a move. He's got Robinson with him. Jost holds, shoots off the crossbar as Aho gets it on for Blake. Has it roll on him, still loose, and we'll get a whistle.
Robinson, Roslovic, Jost, Jarvis, Aho, Burns. It was crazy how many chances Carolina had last night. Couldn't beat UC Saros other than the one Taylor Hall bolt of lightning on the power play. And it's just one of those days where you definitely deserved more. You didn't get it because, hockey. Puck is flat. Doesn't bounce your way all the time. Now, do the same thing on Friday against Montreal. Bet you win. Then do that again against the Islanders on Sunday. I bet you win. And then do that against the Capitals on Wednesday. I bet you win. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound mind and body.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We've had our nuts and bolts conversation about the loss to Nashville, the hockey conversation. Dennis, do we want to have a ridiculous conversation real quick?
Let's go for it.
Do you know how I knew the Canes were going to maybe be a little soft yesterday, maybe a little off their game yesterday?
Why is that?
They gave a tribute video to Brady Shea.
There was.
That's our buddy over there. Oh, look at it. Let's clap it up for Shea. Hey, oh, look at that. Nashville beat us. Oh, man. I was too busy celebrating the guy that was actively trying to prevent us from winning the game. Hate tribute videos. Unless they're retired. If a player retires, go nuts. Go crazy. Throw them a parade once they retire. When they're in your arena wearing the other team's jersey, trying to upend your streak there, right? You had won 9 of 10 games. You're looking to make it 10 of 11. Brady Shea was trying to make it not the case. And you gave him all the high fives in the stadium. Oh, yeah, first time out. Way to go, Brady Shea. Oh, look at that. We're down. Look at that. We're losing. Oh, look at that. We're down again. Oh, look at that. We lost 3-1. But at least you took care of your buddy. There's a saying in sports. You're either with us or against us. Brady Shea is very rich and against you. That's my take on the subject. It is a ridiculous conversation. I don't think that's actually why they lost, but it's fun to think about. Huh? Every time there's a tribute video and they lose, you're going to get some version of that. That's all I'm going to say. And if there's a tribute video and they win, I'm going to completely ignore it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Did Michael Bunting get a tribute video?
He should have.
Yeah, he just went and scored a goal anyway.
Yep.
They're on the other team. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. I have a question for you all out there. Have you ever noticed how many mortgage companies, lenders, brokers advertise no closing costs when rates are really low? But when the rates go a little bit higher, when they're a little bit less favorable, all of a sudden those advertisements go away. They don't go away for Miller Lending and Gordon Miller. It shouldn't go away, right? It shouldn't be one or the other. Oh, low rates, we'll do this, and then high rates, no. No, they do it all of the time. Why? Because that's the way you guarantee flexibility. That's the way you guarantee that you can take advantage of a volatile market. That's the way you protect yourself when it comes to locking in a mortgage. Matter of fact, if your current rate is over 7, right? It's been, we know what they've been in the last year or two. If your current rate that you locked into your mortgage is over 7, you want to give them a call right now. They might be able to save you money on your monthly payment with no closing costs, which means no charge to you. None means none. No third-party fees. 0 means 0 at Miller Lending. And that's true whether rates are high, low, or anywhere else, unlike so many other places. Give them a call. The number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We need numbers game contestants, don't we? Yes, we do. If you want to play the numbers game, get ready to call in. The prize for today is country music. Thomas Rhett will be coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 31st. A pair of tickets goes to the winner of the numbers game. The numbers game, if you want to play, you have to call in now. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326 to play the numbers game. Winner gets to see Thomas Rhett this July. Numbers game is coming up next.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but that doesn't mean me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as the NFL draft approaches, insight on free agents and prospects, plus all the insider info on who the Panthers want to pick at number 8. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. T&Cs apply.
Are you suffering from chronic joint pain or just struggling with daily activities because of discomfort in your knees, back, or other parts of your body? Well, I've got great news. It's called DaVita Med Spa and Wellness, a solution that can help you get back to feeling like yourself again without the risks of invasive surgery or long-term prescription drug use. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness is a regenerative medicine clinic. Their innovative treatment options address the root cause of your pain to promote healing and prevent re-injury for long-lasting pain relief. If you have arthritis, joint pain, sports injuries, or other conditions, their highly trained medical providers will develop a cutting-edge treatment plan tailored just for you with little to no downtime. DaVita Med Spa and Wellness can get you back to doing the things you love. Call DaVita Med Spa and Wellness today, spelled DVIDA. Call 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313, 984-333-1313.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
These days, figuring out what, where, and how to watch TV is out of control. And so is the cost. That's why I'm psyched I found Philo. Live TV from A&E, Discovery, MTV, and all the channels I love. A huge library of movies and shows, and an unlimited DVR to save them. I also get AMC Plus and all their blockbuster hits. All this for just $28 a month when you sign up at philo.tv. Give it a try, risk-free at philo.tv.
Tired of hearing this from your local tire place?
Sorry, we can't fix it. Take it to Dauntless.
This year, skip the middleman and take your car straight to Dauntless Transmissions if you want quality work done right the first time. Transmissions, engine, or brake work, or just a regular tune-up. If it's broke, Dauntless will fix it. For quality work done with the kind of experience that works for you, take it to Dauntless Transmissions first. Go to DauntlessTransmissions.com to book your visit today. Dauntless Transmissions, your local source for exceptional service.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Dave in Fuquay Varina and Chris in Wake Forest. They are getting ready to battle it out with jersey numbers. With the winner receiving Thomas Rhett tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 31st. As always, we start with a question. Dennis gets to pick his favorite answer, and that person gets to go first. Dave in Fuquay Varina, are you there and ready to answer?
Yep, I'm here.
All right. I forget why, but I asked this of Dennis earlier today, so I'm going to ask you the same question. When you were 10 years old, who was your favorite athlete? Who was the jersey you wanted, the one you were emulating?
Shaq. Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq. Solid one, right? Before you knew you weren't going to be 7 feet tall, so it's like, yeah, I'm going to be in the post. I'm going to play like Shaq.
Just a foot short.
Yeah, there you go. It's why Steph Curry is so popular, because everyone's like, I could actually see myself doing that. No one's like, if Shaq can do it, I can do it. All right, Shaq, the answer there. Chris in Wake Forest, are you there? And are you ready to answer? Chris, are you there? Chris, did you hang up on us? Chris, are you so embarrassed by who your favorite athlete was when you were 10 years old that you've bailed? I'm hearing like radio silence in my headset, so I don't even think like we're not there. It might be a connection issue. Chris, are you there? Going once, Chris. Going twice, Chris. Sold. Dennis, why don't you try to get Chris set up, and we'll just have Dave go first. Shaq's going to be the right answer. Shaq, I just called you Shaq. Dave, are you there and ready to play?
Yes.
All right. The categories for you to choose from are NFL players that were in the NFC North in 2024, NFL players that were in the AFC North in 2024, NBA all-hyphen team, or NHL Hurricanes only?
Let's do NFC North.
All right. You said NFC, right?
Yep, NFC.
Right. Cool. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers.
10.
Correct. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
23.
Incorrect. Harrison Smith, Minnesota Vikings.
42.
What was that?
42.
Incorrect. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
21.
Incorrect. Harrison Smith, Minnesota Vikings.
25.
Incorrect. Jahmyr Gibbs, Detroit Lions.
26.
Correct. Tyreek Stevenson, Chicago Bears.
80.
You got 2. You got Jordan Love with 10. You got Jahmyr Gibbs with 26. You were very excited when you remembered 26. Harrison Smith was 22. And Tyreek Stevenson, 29. Stevenson, very popular as being 2 things. One, part of the trade that was one of the draft picks that the Bryce Young deal is there. And 2, he was the one that was celebrating while his team was giving up a Hail Mary to the Commanders. All right, so you got 2. That's a solid number. We'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on the line. And we are going to hope that Chris in Wake Forest can hear me now. Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, there you are. We got you locked and loaded. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right, the categories are, or the remaining categories for you to choose from are NFL players that played in the AFC North in 2024, NBA all-hyphen team, players with hyphens in their name somewhere, or NHL players but Hurricanes only.
NHL.
All right, these are all players that played for the Canes. I will give you the team, even though you know the team in this category. I will say it for timing purposes, fair with the other categories. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock, 1 pass if you need it. And you do have you need 3 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Let's do it.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Incorrect. Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Correct. Lucas Walmart, Carolina Hurricanes.
48.
Incorrect. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Scott Morrow, Carolina Hurricanes.
96.
Incorrect. Lucas Walmart, Carolina Hurricanes.
57.
Incorrect. Eric Robinson, Carolina Hurricanes.
21.
Nope. I do respect the oh God and just throwing a number out there.
Yeah.
Eric Robinson, 50 is what we were looking for. You got Jarvie with 24. Walmart, 71. 71 is a popular number just in Kane. It seems like it's the answer a lot. It's Fost, it's Hall, it's Walmart. There's a few others. Scott Morrow, 56 is what we were looking for. So you had the 6 right, but you didn't have the 50. You got 1. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Right on. Y'all have a good one.
Oh, and just for fun, since we didn't get a chance to ask you the opening question, when you were 10 years old, who was your favorite athlete?
Michael Jordan, and I wanted the UNC jersey.
People still want that jersey. You go to like frat parties in colleges across the country. They're still wearing the UNC Michael Jordan jersey. Appreciate it. Thank you for playing. Hopefully you had a good time, like I said. And that means Dave in Fuquay Arena. You are the winner. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you.
The big Shaq Diesel would be proud. Congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Stay on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to grab from you, but you are the winner. Get to see who was. Oh, Thomas Rhett. Yeah, Thomas Rhett. Enjoy the show.
Appreciate it.
The big Shaq Diesel and Michael Jordan. Couple of you know what? That's even more frustrating. I've been saying this after the numbers game. We have the NBA all-hyphen team, players with hyphens in their name somewhere. The category has been unpicked for weeks, if not months. Feels like years. We had two contestants there that said their favorite players growing up, favorite athletes growing up, were both NBA players. And they chose Canes and NFL categories. I'm like feeling bad for the NBA category. It just never gets picked. Maybe one of you will step up to the plate, perhaps. Little bit of just updating. It's not breaking news or anything, but it's updating a story. John Shire, head coach of Duke, did speak to the media today ahead of their Sweet 16 game against Arizona tomorrow. Malik Brown, their defensive big, versatile player, transfer from Syracuse this past offseason, who's been out since, the regular season finale against UNC, was it? No, sorry. It was the opener of their ACC tournament. Wait, I'm trying to put it. Yeah, it was. When did Malik Brown? I know he dislocated his shoulder twice, so I'm confused. It was the beginning of the ACC tournament, right?
Yeah, in the quarterfinal game
against Georgia Tech.
Yes.
John Shire, talking to the media today, said it's day-to-day with Malik. There's a chance he could be available tomorrow night.
Okay.
He is a very good player. That is
Very
big,
good player.
That is big news. He's made some clutch plays for them in big games this year. So if it happens, that's good. But obviously you want to worry about health and all that. So it's not breaking news, just an update on an ongoing story. We'll see if he ends up being available tomorrow.
By the way, if you want more Duke coverage in Sweet 16 from up there in Newark, Luis Fernandez and Chris Lee from WREL Sports, they are up there. So they'll have all the behind-the-scenes stuff. So check out WRELSportsFan.com. They'll have all the locker room interviews and all those kinds of things going on for you as well. And by the way, a couple things. Duke will be on Buzz Sports Radio tomorrow night if you want to listen to their Sweet 16 game. But tonight, Tim, 7 o'clock here on The Fan, we have Canes Corner with Mark Jankowski, hosted by Mike Maniscalco. That's over at the local right there across the street from the arena. 7 o'clock tonight, Canes Corner. Mark Jankowski, your guest.
Janky.
I think they call him Janko.
I call him Janky because it's Stanky and Janky.
Say Stanky and Janky. It makes sense.
I think he scored 2 goals on the way to on the way to Canes Corner.
I think he did.
He's been on fire. Although last night, not as much. Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something to pass along.
Dennis Cox here for ESPN Bet Sportsbook, folks. It's March. It's that time of year. Who's cutting down the nets? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. All tournament long, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code Radio100 to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's how it goes, everybody. The portal, it's got a lot of problems. One isn't being talked about enough. I'll tell you what that is coming up next.
For more than 75 years, University of Maryland Global Campus has given you the opportunity to build your next success. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs in career-relevant fields like business, healthcare, data analytics, cybersecurity, and more. Plus, we offer 100% online and hybrid courses, personalized advising, and lifetime career services. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
So, you found the one and want to get married? Next step, you need the ring. And not just any ring, the perfect engagement sparkle that exemplifies your love. Bailey's Fine Jewelry is here to help. Our diamond experts, wide selection of high-quality diamonds, and financing make saying I do easy. We guarantee you'll love the ring or your money back. You're invited to see why Bailey's has been voted best place to buy your diamonds. Visit us today in-store or at baileybox.com to find out more.
Struggling to get the sleep treatment you need? I'm Megan Giggling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. You shouldn't have to wait for better sleep. Our streamlined process provides for sleep studies, CPAP machines, and supplies, without the long delays you'll find at other sleep centers. At Parkway Sleep, we'll help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve.
With over 20 years of experience, join countless satisfied customers who have discovered the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit us today at parkwaysleep.com. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Are you in charge of running the building maintenance plays at your workplace? If you're facing roofing issues, you gotta get RoofWorks into the game. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. You can count on us to be your MVP when it comes to taking care of your commercial building roof. We handle leaky roof repair, coatings, total replacements, upfits, and we even do commercial gutters. Let us show you what a valuable addition we are to your building maintenance team. Contact us today online at roofworks.com. That's WERKS.com.
Hello, Scott Forbes, head baseball coach, University of North Carolina. When it comes to choosing a dealership, I stick with Wilkinson, Chevrolet, Cadillac, Buick, GMC. Growing up in Sanford, I've been fortunate to be lifelong friends with Will Wilkinson. My family and I have been buying and having our vehicles serviced at Wilkinson for many, many years. Great service, competitive prices, and most importantly, a place you can trust. Go where I go. Go see my longtime friend Will Wilkinson at Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC.
You know that feeling? That confident, swaggerific feeling that says, look at me, world, I know stuff. Own that feeling with PlaySmart, a fun new go-to resource from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With PlaySmart, get to know the odds, learn tips, set limits and budgets, and make the most of your play. Awesome feeling, right? Right. Play smart, the way smart players play. Visit ncplaysmart.com. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Don't go through another year with all that high interest debt. Let Loan Pronto wipe it all out now. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan makes it easy to pay off all your credit cards or tackle that 2025 home improvement project. Get cash in your pocket fast. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's AI-driven tech gets you approved and funded in as little as 1 day. One client got $150,000 approved in under 24 hours. Paid off all their credit cards, 2 cars, and a personal loan, saving over $1,500 per month. With low fixed rates and lightning fast transfers, you can do it too. Consolidate debt, improve your home, take control of your finances. Imagine being credit card debt-free by this time next week. Don't wait. Call Loan Pronto now, 919-381-1760, or visit loanpronto.com. Get a free rate quote with no hard credit pull, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I can understand, and I try to understand, when things that frustrate me, if there's a reason for it, if there's logic behind it, if there's, I know it stinks, but we have to do it this way because. I try to hit that. Which is why, after football season, when Penn State had a backup quarterback that they actually played, he was like a running situation quarterback, went into the portal before the college football playoff, and I went, man, that stinks. They got to move back the opening of the portal. And somebody says, yeah, but the second semesters are getting started across the country, and if you're going to switch and you want to play spring ball, you have to get enrolled in time for classes to start, so you kind of have to open it up before the CFP ends. And I'm going all right, that stinks, but at least there's a reason for it. I can't find, and I'm trying to, I cannot find a reason why the basketball portal opened up on Monday. The season's not over. There's no semester starting. In fact, in most of these cases, the athletes are going to stay at the school they're in right now to finish the semester anyway. Mm-hmm. They're in the portal, and they're going to have to take finals in a couple months, weeks, whatever it is. So I don't – why are you asking players to make these decisions when their season might not be over yet? Their season might not be – I don't even know why I'm saying might. The season isn't over yet. It might be over for individual schools, but it's not over for college basketball. What is it? Donovan Dent is the number one guy in the portal right now, out of New Mexico. Do you think maybe he would like to have serious, longer-term communication with teams that are in the Sweet 16 before deciding where he's going to go? But they have to worry about what? The Sweet 16, so they're maybe not as involved in portal stuff, and maybe there's a team that's not in the Sweet 16 that's looking at Donovan Dent saying, listen, we can't keep this roster spot forever. If you're not accepting it, we're going to go fill it with somebody else from the portal. And he's going, I want to talk to Michigan first. I want to have a longer conversation with John Shire at Duke first. It doesn't make any sense. And normally when the NCAA does something stupid, you got to follow the bouncing dollar. It's all right, well, where's the money going, right? How are they going off all of this, right? How are they benefiting from this? Well, I can't find it. I can't find nefarious motivation, let alone logical. I can't find the guilt. Why not? And if you have an answer for this, please, I'd love to hear it. At Donnelly Sports on Twitter. Why does the portal not open the day after the national championship game? Why? Players are not there. You don't got to enroll in time for spring semester. They could gather more information. Why? And just because I feel the need to clarify this, coaches should be prevented from moving also. Because if the portal's not open, they don't have the reason why, like Jay Lucas, an assistant for Duke, after their regular season immediately hopped off the bench for Duke and went to Miami is because needed to make portal decisions, right? Needed to get there in time for the portal to open up to be prepared for everything. If the portal wasn't open until after the national championship game, then coaches would have no reason to move. And matter of fact, they shouldn't have a reason to move. When you sign up for a season somewhere, you should fulfill your commitment to a season. Right? And I think the coaches, it's actually even a little more motivation because players have limited eligibility. Imagine you are, and people are going to get upset with this, imagine you played at McNeese this year. It was the first NCAA tournament for McNeese, right? It was first in a long time. They were all very excited that McNeese made the NCAA tournament. And it was common knowledge that your coach was taking a job somewhere else. He had interviewed. He had talked about money. He had multiple conversations with the athletic director by the time you played your last game. Now, I'm not blaming Will Wade because he was actually one of the few that was refreshingly honest about it. It's not his fault. It's the system's fault. It's the calendar's fault. It's the way that the NCAA has set it up's fault. He was at least honest about it. But McNeese, there's a good chance, guys, on McNeese, the highlight of their athletic career is that they made it to an NCAA tournament, won a game, and got to play in the round of 32. And their coach, rather than grinding tape every single day, was flying to go meet with Boo Corrigan. Now, I'm not saying that's the reason they lost. I'm not saying anything, but I'm saying athletes are really, really bad with the regrets like that. Looking back at the shoulda, woulda, couldas, it's why every single athlete that didn't make it to the pros knows which injury held them back from it, right? It's not the fact that you ran a 5.2. It's that you didn't get to run your 5.2 because you had a knee sprain that day, right? That's the thing that held you back. I don't get why you would open up the portal before the season ends. I have no clue why you'd open it. Michigan's still playing. They had a player go into the portal.
Yeah.
How does that – do you let that player finish out the run? Do you say thanks but no thanks and send him home? If you do let him finish out the run, does it make it awkward? Is he in warm-up lines and no one's talking to him? Do you play him? I don't know how any of that goes.
It really puts the athletes in a tough position because you have to do that. If that player say, hey, look, I know I'm not going to be here at Michigan after this year, but I want to make sure I have my full opportunity to reach somewhere else, another school that might want me, I have to go into the portal now. Otherwise, if we make a run to the Final Four, I can't wait 2 more weeks because spots are going to be all snatched up. Mm-hmm. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. It's unfortunate that the athletes have to be put in that situation. Again, make it the day after the national championship game, portal opens.
And have plenty of time. There's no reason to speed it up.
And you still have another month before the semester ends. Most summer classes don't start until, May 15th, roughly around that time anyway. Some it's June 1st, depending on your school. You got plenty of time to figure it out.
It does put a week, today we talked a bunch about Elliott Cadeau and Jalen Washington. Mm-hmm. And we could talk about the 6 names for NC State that went into the portal. And we could talk about all of the targets for, we're talking portal now. The season isn't over. It takes away from the most magical time of the college basketball year, which is the NCAA tournament. Imagine if, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the best example. There's a one-hit wonder band, right? And there's very obvious, if you go see the Baha Men in concert right now, right?
That's a heck of a pull, but all right.
Yeah, all right. You're there to see Who Let the Dogs Out, right? That's what you're there for. The Baha Men are not running a special at the snack bar during Who Let the Dogs Out, right? They're not doing anything to draw attention away from their calling card. The NCAA, for some reason, is like, oh, are you really excited about the games that are being played? March Madness, the brackets, your whole office pool, your family pool, your gambling, everybody's focused on. Yeah, how about this flashy other thing to go pay attention to that'll take your mind off of it so everyone can argue about Elliott Cadeau and whether UNC should have done everything to keep him or not, and instead of focusing on the Purdue matchup, or instead of focusing on Calipari getting Arkansas to the Sweet 16 in his first year as coach, instead of talking about that, let's go hash out whether we think a player is being greedy or not by going into the portal and looking for more money. That's the stuff we want to have in the middle of March. NCAA lacks common sense.
Oh, 100%.
Normally, they're at least benefiting from their poor decisions. I think this is actually hurting them. Normally, it's like, all right, they're trying to line their pockets. It's stupid, but they're trying to make money. This, I think, is costing them all of it. There's nothing good about this.
And it's got to be difficult for a coach as well, that I want to put my full effort and focus that's competing right now. Oh, yeah, but who's in the portal? I think this is also where...
And coaches looking for other jobs. Like, you have to. If you're an ambitious person, you want to win national championships, you don't think you can at your current institution, for you and your family and your career ambitions, you have to have those conversations. I can't knock you for it. I just hate that the timing is where the timing is.
But I was going to say that it's also, I think it's going to be more vital now for coaches that have someone on staff that's just strictly monitoring the portal this time of year. Hey, go find the guys. Like, have someone on staff or a couple people on staff that let me know who we're contacting, so that way when it's time to call, give me the rundown, give me the bullet points so I can talk to this kid.
I'm with it.
That way I can focus on actually coaching and trying to win a game this weekend.
That's what all coaches say. I just want to coach. The drive with Tim.
Me, I hated recruiting. I hated it.
If you really liked recruiting, it would be a weird, like, oh, you love the part where you have to go suck up to 16-year-olds?
Gosh,
awesome.
The worst.
That'd be weird about your personality. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. And speaking of portal talk, we have some for you. Earlier today, we broke down the two major dominoes that fell into the portal from UNC. That's starting off Overdrive. Enjoy that coming up next. See ya.
We're in the middle of the madness.
Corner three by Murray. It's good! Timeout, Clemson!
From the first four to the national championship.
Blocked by Shoemate.